Hey there, kids. It's me, Oni the Unicorn. And I'm here to tell you that f***ing your dreams ain't cheap. In fact, it costs a ton of cash to do. So that's why me and the Ohno radio show need your help. Just go to the website displayed below and hit us up with some cash, yo. $1, $5, $1 million if you have it to spare. Any amount is appreciated. Well, I gotta go because these dreams ain't gonna fuck themselves. See ya!
No, 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 no.
No! God, please, no!
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no.
You are listening to the Ohno Radio Show.
Eat a bag of dicks.
You know what's great is when you go on vacation and you end up falling down the stairs at your mother-in-law's house.
Oh no, baby. Oh no. Oh no. I don't want you anymore. Yes, baby, I told you before. You went away and you said you left me, and now you live in misery. Although you want me to take you back, you say you're sad about this and that.
Oh, no, baby. Yeah. We are back. Yes, indeed. After a week's hiatus due to, my little family vacation that I just did. We'll talk about that in just a second and how that went, but I want to introduce everybody here first. My name is Owen. I am the captain of your shit ship. Along with me, as always, is my good friend Ty from the Great White North, the Lizard Wizard himself. How you doing, Ty?
Life is good.
I'm glad to hear it.
I miss you, gents. Fucking A.
Yeah. Missing you too, buddy. Missing you too. But along with us as well is my mustached muse himself, the one and only Mike B. And soon to be on the road, Mike B, from what it sounds like.
Bro, I got a lot of stuff done today.
It sounds like
a good
it.
lot.
Yeah. Well, let's start with that. Let's hear the update on where you're at with your driving situation and getting back on the road with the. I know you've had to jump through a lot of hoops with the DMVs and the insurance agencies and all that stuff. So where are we at? Let's hear about it.
Okay, so today I went out to the DMV because if you guys remember, last time I went out there, they were like, "Hey, probation never sent anything over, so we don't know if you ever even finished probation."
Right. No, that's nice of them. I'm glad to see that all the departments are talking correctly as they need to.
Yeah, especially the ones that, deal together with each other.
Yeah, right.
So they told me, like, hey, just bring us, we're not going to force you to retake that stuff, but just bring us some sort of verification that you've done it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
How the fuck do I find that? First off, I would be a little bit clueless, if I'm being honest, as to how I even go about it,
Well, I went to Orange County Records because this DUI was out of Orange County.
Yeah.
By like half a mile. It wasn't in Seminole. But anyway, I guess it was good because I heard Seminole jail is trash.
Yeah, I think you probably did. I didn't actually know you. So you went to 33rd.
Yeah, I went to 33rd and 3rd. It was good.
Classic 33rd. Lovely establishment, I've heard.
Oh, very nice. I stayed in Gen Pop for 10 days.
Oh.
Or not, no, I stayed in like processing because they couldn't get me to Gen Pop.
What were you, John Doe?
I've picked up a lot of people from there, but gladly I have not seen the inside. How was the inside? Was it better than you imagined?
I mean, it wasn't that bad. I was there for 10 days, and I just kind of like hung out I learned to play spades. I read a lot of people's letters or like their paperwork that they had with them, because apparently glasses and whiteness makes like this guy obviously can read. He got glasses, so he can.
Yeah.
And then they called me Pablo Escobar. So I mean, it was pretty fun. It was like it was almost like a 10-day shitty vacation.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, played some
For
spades, read some interesting lawyer letters, but
yeah, bro.
Okay, so you were able to go on Orange County Records. You were able to submit this to the DMV and whatnot, or and they obviously they gave you the good to go.
They said, okay, cool. Now you just need to get the thing registered, but you got to get insurance first. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. We have an insurance agent. So I called him, and he was like, hey, we can't insure you unless your license is unsuspended. And I'm like, well, they're not going to let me unsuspend my license without having this car registered, because you can't put the breathalyzer in a car that isn't registered.
Fair enough.
And I'm like, so wait, you're both saying like we can't do anything until you get this done, and the other guy's like, well, we can't do anything until you get that done. And I'm like, so I'm in weird license limbo now, where there's no way out. And so I call my insurance agent. I'm like, hey man, is there any way you can just like get me on the insurance without me having like an actual license yet? He goes, listen, I'm gonna have to call Progressive themselves. I'm gonna have to call Mr. Progressive.
Yeah. Oh no,
the guy.
You gotta call Flo, right? You call Flo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll call Flo and we'll talk to Flo.
Yeah.
And I know she's busy with the Addams Family by what all the commercials are saying right now.
Oh, is that right? Is she in the Addams Family?
Dude, I think they're working with Progressive now.
Okay.
But we called Flo directly.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, it's Mike B. He's a good guy.
Can we waive this stipulation, perhaps?
Can we just get him in there? And so originally they're like, okay, we can do it, but you're probably gonna have an SR 44 or whatever, SR 22 or whatever it is.
That's the more expensive insurance for fuck ups.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh well, they didn't stipulate that at any of the hearings. And he goes, oh well, they're gonna have a hearing for you to tell you that. And I'm like, really? After like 8 years later, they're gonna hold a
hearing,
a new hearing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
And I'm like, it wasn't stipulated in my paperwork that I was gonna have to have an SR 22, and they usually stipulate that right there in the paperwork. And so Flo is like, okay, all right, we'll let him on there.
Oh,
we'll do it.
Flo gave you the exception, huh?
Yeah, the whole Flo came through.
Can I ask you a question? Would you with Flo? I
definitely one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Flo can get it, right?
I think she's definitely a kink of some sort.
She's not as hot as that AT&T girl with the big tits that she tries to hide on all the TV commercials. Like I forget her name, but she's not as good as that chick. But Flo got something going on. Maybe it's that lipstick or something. I don't know. Maybe it's that. Why do they make her dress like a nurse? I don't understand why they make Flo dress like a nurse. Is that's never been explained to me.
I
think it was just character choice. She said, I'm going to be someone who wanted to be a nurse and fell short and became an insurance agent.
Yeah, but she was the nurse of your situation in this case, right? She helped resolve it, and now, okay, so you got the insurance, you got the registration. All again thanks to the people that did donate to the GoFundMe that was set up by myself and Mike B to help, and Carl Tully was a big part of that.
Carl, I had
it was me and Carl that did that, and yeah, we got there. So all right, so using that money, we're getting one step in the right direction here. Yep. So what's left? What's left to get you back on the road?
So I'm going to take the car to a mechanic because it does have an intermittent starting issue, and I want to get that fixed because with the breathalyzer relying as part of the starting
startup
process.
Yeah.
I don't want to fool with that at all and have it send like an accidental code or like a false positive.
That's fair.
That thinks I'm trying to goof around with the ignition.
Yeah.
So I don't want to fool with that. So I just have to take it to the mechanic, and then once it's sound, breathalyzer, and then I can get my license.
Full license. Well, congratulations. It's been a long ass journey, and I'm pretty happy that you're close to the light is at the end of the tunnel, I think, at this point.
It's coming along.
That's great, man. That's great. So no, that's great news to start back up with after taking the week off. We do apologize, of course, for last week not doing a show, but that was because of me. That was because of the fact that I was doing the old family vacation with this time with Theresas family. First time this has ever happened, you know? Like, Theresa's usually gone up without me and visited her mom and her mom's husband and sister. And I've usually had like a legitimate excuse, whether it be like work related or what have you. It's not like I've not gone just because I didn't want to go. This was just the first time that, you know, I was able to go. And this was a trip that we had technically booked for 2020. And of course, you know how that goes. That had to be postponed. And so here we are. I went up and visited with Theresa's family. And it was more of a family-ish trip than it was your stereotypical, like, Owen and Theresa, you know, like, basically, you know, gallivanting around every brewery in every town that we go. That still did happen a fair amount, and I'll talk you through some of those situations. We definitely had plenty of drinks on the trip, and you know, so that was cool, but during this whole process, I will tell you, and like I said at the top of the show, I did fall down the stairs. This two-story house.
Wait. This was before you started
bro?
drinking?
What'd you say, Ty?
This was before you started drinking at the beginning of the trip?
No, it was mid-trip. It was second to last day of the trip. I forgot what I was like. I was a little tipsy, and I was running up to the room we were staying in, and I was trying to come back down as to not be rude as quick as possible. And they have, like, I was wearing socks because it's a little cold, right, up there, and I, you know, they have like a pretty, you know, slick carpet at the top of the stairs, and Owen did the old like boom, 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 like a good 3/4 of the whole staircase, like
on your butt, just
on my butt, but also trying to like use my feet to sort of like, I don't know, slow me down and whatnot.
Yeah.
I had visions because they have one of those staircases too, where it's got like the banister off to the side on the right side with all the little posts that stick up right on the banister. And I had that vision of me like putting out my arm and then like taking out every one of the posts, like from a cartoon. You've all seen that, right? Where it's just like, da, 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 da. So I didn't want to do that. So I'm trying like to not break the house, but also not break me. So that was fun. I had a really good time at the airport a couple of days later, like walking around with my sprained ankle and my
It sounds like a good hobble. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It didn't really get my back too much, thankfully, or my butt. It was more just like I think I bruised my heel. And that was fun, you know, like, so I was walking around, like, trying to, you know, play it off, like, nothing happened, it's fine, and didn't really get out because I had a few drinks, didn't really feel it until I kind of sobered up, and that following day, you wake up, and you're just like, oh, boy, this is gonna be good, like, and, you know, you don't want to, you know, there's talks of like hiking and there's talks of like walking and doing all this. Thankfully, it was a rainy day that day. There was no, the hiking and stuff kind of got a little canceled, and we ended up going to a brewery instead. And you know what? Made everything a little bit better. And we made it out okay. So the trip started, and I will go ahead and preface this by saying that we flew on the old Spirit Airlines, you know, the classiest of classy airlines. And
Spirit isn't always terrible. It definitely has potential to be terrible more often than not. But I've had some good Spirit flights. I've had a couple.
I gotta say that the airplanes, both like to and fro, were pretty, like, they were nice. They were clean. They were nice. It's still not the most comfortable seats in the world.
Yeah.
They're like, they could afford to put an extra little bit of padding in those seats, if you ask me.
No, 1 inch. That's all you get.
Yeah, there's not a lot of luxury when it comes to Spirit, but you know what you're getting into, right? And the big thing that we were more worried about than anything was they are so strict when it comes to like baggage, and we like the weights of the bags, the sizes of the bags, all this sort of shit, right? So thankfully we are able to like swindle the ticket agent or whatever into letting us be like, I think it was like 6 pounds overweight. And and here's my thing. Here's my thing about this. 40. It was
6 pounds.
6 pounds, right? So we're 4. It's
That's
like
a plane crash, bro.
well, hear me out. I got a lot of thoughts on this situation. We were the weight limit for our checked-in bag, 40 pounds. We came in at 46. The guy was nice enough to kind of waive it and everything. And I then started thinking about it more and more and more. And here's the deal. I'm a pretty skinny dude. Theresa is skinny and tiny as well. Did they look at us and be like, well, because these aren't fatsos, do they get a little extra on the bag allowance? And I contend that they should do this, because my point is
the unwritten law of Spirit Airlines.
We should just call it fat allowance. If way more,
well,
you gotta pay for that.
Yeah,
extra
you should
weight
just tell
you're
people
lugging
like,
around.
hey, you have a maximum weight allowance. If you're a bigger person, you get less luggage because you already.
You're sucking up that fat allowance. I 100% agree with you. This is the way it should work.
You have to
should have to stand
allowance, Owen, weight allowance.
You have to stand on a scale, like with the bag, right? And like every person gets X amount, And if you're under that, then your bag then gets that gets waived. Why should I have to pay an extra $50 because I'm 6 pounds over when there's a fat fucker sitting like down the row from me and he's got probably an extra 30 pounds on him that he's fucking toting around and he's got
so
his...
you're saying he got free weight.
That's what I'm saying, is that the whole weight distribution thing when it comes to baggage and airlines needs to be factored in, that people like that are fatter, you get less. You get to take less on the plane. That is...
I think you're right and wrong at the same time. You should keep all the baggage shit the same, but yet call it a fat allowance, man. If you're over 300 pounds,
you don't get to get a fucking checked-in bag at all. If you're on my airline, because you got the clothes on your back.
If you went and did that, it would become like a crazy trend to be like thin enough to ride Owen Air.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
and then I got all the
thin
hot
enough for
people.
Owen.
I got all the hot people and cancer patients on my airline. You've got fatsos and McDonald's eating gross people on your airline.
You've got the Midwest in your...
Yeah. But then, okay, so...
You got a lot of Fond du Lac over there on Owen, or not on Owen.
A lot of cheese curd eating motherfuckers. That's all I'm saying, right? I actually got some cheese curds the other week. They were delicious. But on the way back, we did have the similar sort of baggage situation, but this chick was more of a bitch. And she was just like, you're way too high on the limit. Now, granted, we were taking a couple things back, including like a bottle it's apple pie moonshine that we bought up there after we went to a distillery, and it's absolutely, it's delicious, especially on a cold day and all that. And so that was in our bag, but that's also too big to then put in your hand luggage because of the liquid scenario, right? Like it can only have so many liquids in your bag and so on and so forth. So
You're
also,
1,000% going to make a Molotov out of that and hurl it at the captain.
right, I could, maybe. I'm not wasting that. I'm not wasting that precious moonshine. Anyway, my other point when it comes to this baggage scenario is that she made us take stuff out of our checked bag because it was overweight to put it in my backpack hand luggage, and that would even it out, take a couple pounds off. We got it. I took it was like Theresas fucking shoes because she insists on bringing goddamn like 4 pairs of shoes when you're there for 4 days. Doesn't matter. I took them out of my bag.
This was my next question. How many days were you there?
Yeah.
How heavy is your goddamn luggage?
46 pounds it was, right? So yeah, Theresas doesn't know how to pack. That's just a fact. Like women, they are gonna take every, like, I don't know why you're taking half your closet and all of the bathroom, but that's like the weight in the bag. So I'm taking out these goddamn like boots that she's bringing, and I'm stuffing them in my goddamn hand luggage. I'm like, you, all right, take those nice, like, comfy little lightweight loafers that you have on right now, and how about you change those for your tennis shoes that you packed in the bag? Tennis shoes go on your feet.
Oh,
Now,
make her wear the boots on the airplane.
I mean, I almost was there.
Yeah,
I mean, it was almost, it was close.
Yeah.
It was close. So anyway, my point is, what is the point? Because if I'm not mistaken, my checked bag and my hand luggage backpack, they're all going on the same fucking plane. It's the same amount of weight. Where that weight is distributed makes no fucking difference. You're letting the same amount of weight on the plane, but I'm just putting one in one bag and one in the other. Makes no difference. Also, I'm skinny. I should get a fucking better allowance than this.
It's protocol, Owen. If they break it for you right there, they're gonna be like, oh, you let skinny boy on there with 12 pounds over. I only have 5 pounds over. Why don't I get to get on?
Because you're a fatso from Fond du Lac. That's why. You don't get that.
Whoa.
You don't get it. Fatso from Fond du Lac. That's, yeah. No, those people should get less weight allowance than me. Like, I'm taking less weight on this plane. Less actual gasoline or jet fuel is having to be put into those engines to get that plane off the ground if I'm on there than if, say, Big Tim's on there, right? So I should be able to get more allowance of weight than Big Tim in my bag. I think that's fair. I'm sticking to it, dying on the hill.
I still say the baggage should always stay the same. You should just be taxed for either
how much you weigh
for being fat or credited for being skinny.
But then where's the break even? Where is it me at like 225? I'm like, okay, because then you're gonna have to get into like BMI and like, oh well,
yeah.
Right.
Well, 225, you're technically overweight.
I'm obese.
You're obese. You're obese for your height, and yeah, you would get, a little. I think they need to charge you more. I think because I'm paying.
No, because then what they'd have to do is they'd have to start at like a ridiculously low. They'd start at like 140 pounds.
Well, I'm about 145, 150 soaking wet.
You would pay an extra $3 in fat tax. They'd have to put it at a low numbers. They'd probably put it even lower because they'd want to start it at like children.
Well, fuck children. They shouldn't be on airplanes anyway. My airline, there's no children on my airline. That's definitely happening. There was a baby
at like 100 pounds.
Oh, there was a baby on the way back that would not shut the fuck up. It was, oh my God, like. I know this is old school, like, hacky bullshit, but they really do need to come up with a system. Theresa was like, she was even mad, and she's so even keel and chill, like, compared to me, and she's just like, this fucking baby. She's like, I wish they invented, and I kind of like this idea, but she's like, they need to have a zip up pod that goes over seats with parents with children, that goes over the top of them, zips them in, is a sound isolating booth that you can pop over annoying children and when they're on the plane, and then everybody's happy. I agree.
I know,
with this.
dude. Just put them in their own like have a small section of the plane that's like, hey, if you have children, this is your seat. If you don't want to fly in this zone with your kids, you pay an extra tax.
You can do that on
Kid
the
tax.
big. You can do that on the bigger airplanes, but when you're on the smaller Spirit, little like puddle hoppers,
Then
or little,
if you got kids, you don't get to fly Spirit.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It's for hip people. That's for cool dudes.
Well, I feel like if you're flying Spirit, yeah, you don't get the luxury of paying for these cheap flights if you've got children or you're fat. That's
no kids, no fatties.
No kids, no fatties. That's the way the plane should work. This is it. This is it.
If you're a fatty, you got to travel by train.
So when we're out there, like we go and we get picked up by Theresa's mom's husband, right? And I've never met him. Theresa's met him a good deal of times. Really, really nice guy. He's sort of intimidating by look, but sweetheart, really, when it comes down to it. Now, guy doesn't speak much, if any, English, like little bits and pieces. Now, I don't speak a lick of Spanish. So how's this going to all work? I don't really know. But I will tell you, I might be a Spanishman now. And
You're not, though. You just said, I don't speak any Spanish.
Yeah, well,
you can't be a Spanishman.
I learned all of the words I know, I've learned from Lucha Libre Wrestling. And I was able to use my wrestling Spanish knowledge to be able to communicate. Like the big one was tranquilo, and a wrestler says that tranquilo, and he was just trying to be like, because her Theresa's mom was just like, why aren't you having more fun, why aren't you dancing with us, all this sort of stuff, and he's just like, I just tried to relax, like that type thing. And I'm just looking at him, I'm like tranquilo, and he's like, yeah, you get it. And so like we and him, like, we found a way to communicate without really talking, but like I don't understand half the shit he's saying. He doesn't understand half the shit I'm saying. But you know what? We ended up being buddies, and I was really happy with that. So now I feel like I'm an honorary Spanishman because
Owen learned one Spanish word to work in a situation. Now he's like official Spanishman.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty much fluent. I could probably teach it at a high school if I needed to.
If the only thing they want to test them on is tranquilo.
Well, I'd throw in some more like wrestling moves, like Mexican wrestling moves, like Hurricane Rana and things like that. Like I'd throw those in there too, like just to pad it out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I got the basics, baño, and, como esas, and all that. I got it. It's good. I'm pretty much fluent now. Like I'm bilingual, I would say. I think I'm bilingual now.
Tu español es basura.
Oh, is it?
It is.
I don't know what that is. There's something about garbage. There's something about
Spanish
trash in
trash.
there. Yeah, well. All right, so at least I understood it, right? Like,
So you're halfway there.
I'm halfway there. I think I'm doing pretty good. So they live in they live in Springfield, Massachusetts, which seems like it's a nice enough city. They don't live in like, I'm not going to be rude, but they don't live in like the most luxurious part of town. They definitely have a beautiful house, and it's the nicest house on the street without question, right? Like there are some crazies down the street. I'm pretty sure there was an underground club happening across the road, like an underground, like Jamaican, like.
You didn't go?
No.
Why didn't you go?
You could have done some daggering.
Man.
What's daggering?
Daggering is that very aggressive Jamaican dancing that they do.
Oh, is that when they like hump people almost to death?
Yeah, it's like they're tossing people in the air and like landing on people's crotch. Like guys are diving on into the pee.
It's like extreme booty dancing is kind of what I've seen. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's called daggering.
You know what? I kind of want to try that too. I would get into
Sounds
that.
fun.
You would kill Theresa.
But if I had a big black Jamaican woman, I think she could hold me, and I would dagger her.
She would dagger you, bro.
No, I want to dagger her. I want to ride her back.
she's-
I want to ride her back.
She would dominate you, dude.
Probably. But
You're too small.
so they have like. Anyway, on their street, they have some less than savory characters roaming around this area. And they got like the chop shop mechanic guy down the street that's fixing cars at 2 o'clock in the morning. They've got the underground nightclub going on over here. And then there's a house a couple houses down that Theresa's mom's like, oh, the crazies live there. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming these are probably meth heads or on some sort of drugs. And I think that was probably pretty accurate. Most of the time when I was out having my smokes, they have a nice back porch, nice back area. I was out back, enjoying it, but it's not covered. And it wasn't a problem until the last night that we were there, because that night it started to rain. And so I'm like, oh, well, I'll just go around the front, and they've got a, covered front porch, and I'll just have a couple smokes out there, and no big deal. So I'm standing out there while it's like drizzling. Like it's hard enough rain, but to want to be able to be undercover. But you can kind of like, if you were going somewhere where you would walk in it, right? And I see this dude, pretty effeminate looking Hispanic male, and he's walking around, and he's got the old. Well, he's doing the move like when you're carrying like servers will carry a tray of like plates, and they'll do like, I don't know how to explain it, but you put your hand back, you balance like a big tray of plates on top of your hand, and you do that whole thing. So he's doing that, but on his hand is a very large shoebox, and he sees me having a smoke out there. I'm dicking around on my phone, and he goes, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Hey, hello." And he goes,
you want some shoes?
He's like, you want to buy a PlayStation for $60? And I said, nope.
Which one?
You tell him it's a PS5?
I said,
yeah, right?
But I knew this is not a PS5. I can guarantee you this is not a PS5. And I just said, nope. And then he's like,
come on, bro. It's a PS2.
So he walks a little further, and then he turns on. He's like, you got extra cigarette? I'm like, nope. And then he wandered off, and I'm like, okay, this is why they don't hang out on their front porch. But yeah, so that was cool, I guess.
He's probably like, this guy's a racist.
Probably. Fucking white motherfucker. Anyway, we went out. Yeah, we got to see some of the more rural areas outside of Springfield, and we were quite taken with that. I mean, it was beautiful. Fall's just starting. The leaves are changing. It was, again, got to go to a distillery, and we went to this distillery, and Theresa's like, "You've been so good, so chill with my family. You've done great. Like, thank you so much. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know." And I, without even hesitation, I said, blowjob.
Distillery blowjob?
Proud of you, sir.
And she's like, I think I said blowjob when we get home. And she said, well, we could do that before we leave. And I'm like, yeah, we can. Awesome. Awesome. So that was the thing. Not gonna say where that happened, but it did happen.
Why?
And,
that's the best part.
Yeah,
please tell us.
Well,
Bathroom of the distillery.
May or may not have been in her mom's house in her sister's room, who gave up her room for us to stay in it. So yeah, that,
Well,
that's not even that bad.
No.
Like, getting a blowjob, that's way less bad than like a pumping in that bed.
Sure. Yeah. No.
Did you pump?
We didn't. I didn't. We didn't.
No.
Oh, that's why you immediately went for the blow jab.
We pumped when we got home because we still had a couple days of vacation.
That's not an out of town pump though.
No, we didn't. We didn't pump out of town. We pumped. We waited for that out of town. BJ was okay with it. It was fun.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, out of town BJ is cool, but like out of town pump
takes it over the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets that real vacation.
No, I think we did. I think we did it right. I think it was good. So, all in all, yeah. No fat people should be on planes. No children should be on planes. Distilleries are pretty rad. Really,
apparently, if Owens apparently just a normal person, blowjob.
yeah. Well, I was very nice. I was on my best behavior.
And I've only ever known you to be a dick when you're either super duper drunk or you're legitimately upset with people.
Well, then you haven't known me that long.
Okay, well, fair enough. You're never a dick to me, so.
That's
I mean, that's happened on the radio before, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've been a dick to all of you. It's part of what I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is that? What is going on there? That's weird. Sorry. The one thing I did want to bring up and was hoping that one of you guys could help me with a quick Google search on this, because I didn't look it up purposely so we could talk about it on the show. Was that
Google is ready?
So I wanted to find out the entomology of the phrase, hair of the dog. And we all know what a hair of the dog is, right? We all know it's like the hair of the dog, the bit you type thing, right? Like where if you've been drunk the night before, you're a little hungover, you have a beer or something, it makes you feel a little bit better. That's the hair of the dog. Well,
Got it right now.
Teresa's mom was it's probably like language barrier. She hadn't really ever heard it. Like she's a little confused, and like I think they have a version of it in Spanish, but was slightly different. And so, but I was thinking about because I was trying to explain it to her, because one of us said, "Oh, when you hair the dog," and we were trying to explain it, but then as I was trying to explain it, I know what it means. Teresa knows what it means. We all know what it means, but it doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't in my mind. The whole why the hair of the dog that bit you have you found any answers to this, Mike?
Yeah. So the etymology of hair of the dog, it's, the expression you take of having some alcohol the day when you get a hangover to help kind of shorten it. It's basically a hair of the dog that bit you.
It still doesn't make sense. That's exactly what I just said. I don't know what
Okay, and it comes from the old belief that someone bitten by a rabid dog could be cured of rabies by taking a potion containing some of the dog's hair.
Oh, okay. Now, all right. So it's a rabies thing. I've never appreciated that. Okay, all right. Well, I will accept that answer. I will actually accept that answer.
And in Spanish, they really don't. It doesn't. The phrase is not hair of the dog per se. They refer to it as the cure or curarse la cruda.
Okay.
And that's what they use instead of hair of the dog. So if you said, "Oh man, we need the cure," curarse la cruda.
Theirs is more simple and less rabies related.
Yeah, less anecdote.
It's less anecdotal. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, cool. Thank you for cleaning that up. I know, Mike. You had a bit of a question before we get into everybody's favorite segment. You had a bit of a question you wanted to ask us.
Oh, yeah. So, something happened to me on the way home from the studio, and I just wanted to ask you guys: have you guys ever? We all smoke the weed. It gets smoked around here.
No, never.
What?
But have you guys ever? And not in I got arrested or, have you guys ever regretted having weed on you?
Mm-hmm.
And again, not in shit, I'm getting arrested and now I have an extra charge of weed.
Or you're gonna sacrifice your job type thing.
Yeah.
Right. You're just regular day, out and about, got some weed on you. Have you ever regretted it? Without the law being, a factor.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, that's tough. I don't really think so. I think maybe, okay, that probably happened to me when I was in my college days and I forgot I had weed on me maybe when I visited my parents or my grandparents or something like that, where it's like, oh shit, I regret having this on me or in my car, or maybe I'd smoked in my car and given someone a ride, like more, like something like that. Oh, they're gonna smell it. But apart from that, I guess that's really the only time. Like I've been in those situations where I'm nervous. Like I've definitely been pulled over for a minor traffic violation, and like I took a right on a goddamn light I shouldn't have taken a right on, like with a no turn on red or something like that. And I did have weed on me, but I was completely sober, and I definitely like was worried about getting popped by the cops in that situation, but didn't, and I guess I regretted it in that sense. But apart from that, no. Ty, or anything like that?
I think my general perception of said problem doesn't really ever think of it as regretting. Like, if it's with me, that's normally a good thing. But I will say early on, I mean, like, I've told the story of getting kicked out of the Boy Scouts before, but that was in my first like couple of years of ever trying it. So
how old were you there? Like 13, 14? How old were you in the Boy Scouts for?
Yeah, man, when I got kicked out, I was almost 14. yeah.
Started young. Damn.
That was an awesome trip. I had a great time. I just, like we woke up the next day after we had walked way away from the camp, and it was me and two of my friends, and we were like, he had talked it up too the whole time. He was like, listen, I'm going to bring this Jamaican red hair shit. I don't know if you know anything about that, but we're going to get down on that. And I was like, I don't know shit about that, but all right.
But that sounds good. Most people just call it weed. You have a cool name for it.
Yeah. Most of the weed I had seen up to that point had seeds or smelled like it probably was past its prime already. So
sure.
That was kind of the first time where it was like danky, like fresh and delicious. But
I'm going to stop you for 2 seconds here too, just to interject real quick, because I remember when it was such a big deal when like good weed started hitting more of the markets, and it was always the thing. Oh, it's got all the red hairs and all that stuff. That means
red hair was the thing.
That was such a thing. Like it's not a thing really anymore. Like you get some, there's good weed out there with like red hair on it, but there's good hair, good weed without, red. Like that was definitely like, I want to say a early 2000s thing. I like somewhere in that region. Oh, it's got the red hair. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't even smoke weed until I was like 20.
Yeah, you were a late bloomer. You were a late bloomer on that. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't do anything in high school ever. But I remember in Titusville it was purple. Any purple weed,
like the purple haze.
Purple weed that came through.
Got that purple.
Because we were used to like hanging out at one house in the afternoon. Like if I didn't have to work after school, we'd go to this house. We'd, there'd be some people there. We'd all just throw all our money together.
Yeah.
And however much money we could get, we'd just call the guy. He'd bring us that much weed, and then we'd all just smoke weed together, and whatever was left when people were leaving, we'd kind of just like, all right, here's a little bit for you.
Yeah, everybody takes a nug or two or something, and
then went home.
Yeah.
But it was if purple weed came through, everybody's like, holy smokes, purple weed, oh my. But I do think that's kind of the issue. Like I meet a lot more kids now who are like, oh, I don't smoke weed. Like I smoked it once or twice and it was just had a bad time.
Maybe it's too strong.
There's no like intro level weed anymore.
Which it used to be the middies, you used to have the middies, you used to have the regs, and now and it was regs, middies, and we used to just call it dink. We used crip or dink were the two words that we used to use. And it didn't matter. All high end
weed was crip.
Yeah, and it wasn't crippy, like it wasn't like what we would know as crippy. Like that been the red weed, the red hair weed. That could have been the perp. That could have been any like higher end. Like the terms were interchangeable. I think like in my early days of smoking, like college.
All
days.
it was just low, middle, and high. And I even knew people who were like, "Oh, bro, there's no mids. There's just shitty crip." Like there were I knew guys like that who were like wouldn't give it that like, "Oh, mids doesn't even exist. You either just have really good regs or you have really bad crip."
That is like, kind of true now. Like that, like that's like it's hard to find something that's more like an even balanced thing. Like you're absolutely right. So anyway, so why did you ask the question and what is the what's the framework for this?
So again, when I left the studio the other day, I
talk about Tom and Dan's studio after you did the ACT.
I didn't. That was over Zoom.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about after you left the studio
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago
for
the show. Okay.
When I left your studio.
Got it.
I smoked a little bit of weed outside, so I'm sure I smelled a little bit, but I was like, whatever, like, just we're gonna be driving down 408 and 417. It's not gonna matter.
Sure.
And it really didn't. We got all the way to the exit at Alomo where we get off, and we're sitting waiting to turn. And it almost happened. It was dark. It's like 11:30 at night, and it almost was like it happened super fast. So like I didn't really notice it until we heard like the crash. But a dude got hit on a motorcycle.
Ooh.
And like basically right in front of us
by a car.
Yeah,
from behind, from like how do?
No, the motorcycle was coming straight through the intersection, and they had a yellow flashing left turn to get on 417.
Yeah.
And the motorcycle goes straight through, and I guess the little SUV that just didn't see him and pulled through the intersection, and I think the motorcycle clipped either the very back side, or it got clipped like on the back wheel by the front side of this thing. But the SUV spun, apparently hit it hard enough for it to spin.
Damn. Must have been a pretty heavy big bike if that was the case.
It looked like a Harley, a Harley style motorcycle. So it was probably a bigger motorcycle. But yeah, the guy just slid right out. And my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, like that just happened. Should we stop?" And I'm like, no.
Right. I smell like weed. I got weed on me. Like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, like if we stop.
But you were a witness, Mikey. Like you.
I know.
That's not. Ooh. So I get what you're saying now. Like if you didn't have something on you at the time,
I probably would have stopped.
Probably right.
And this only makes it worse because this is the second time that this kind of thing has happened.
Damn.
Because before I was married and before like Janine and I were really fully moved in together, I was hanging out at a buddy's house. We got super high and I bought weed, and I'm driving home, and I'm the second car back at an intersection where an SUV just plows straight through the intersection.
Oh, God.
And the other side of the intersection is just a ditch. And this thing just plows right into a ditch. And I'm like, well, I got weed on me and I smell like weed, so I'm just going to take my left turn and drive right away from it.
Bro, I think honestly, that's not the right call. Even if like it is probably your civic responsibility, and just like
you can call like you know,
did you do any
while you're driving away?
Yeah, did you do that at least? Did you?
No,
you didn't do nothing. You just got home and played Among Us or something. I don't know.
I got home and actually smoked more weed to calm down.
Of course, yeah.
Was the guy wearing a helmet?
If he was, it wasn't on him when he was sliding across the pavement.
Oh, goddamn. All right. So,
yeah. So,
well, that then. Yeah, fantastic. Glad
that's wild, though. It's like, it was crazy that it happened, but I did feel bad. And then the other night, we're driving home.
He felt bad. Didn't do anything about it, but felt bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I felt bad because I'm like, man, I would have helped, like, had I not been in the position I was, but I didn't want to potentially be there when the cops show up, and then it's like,
right now
oh,
you're getting arrested for having, like
I'm like, I was trying to help this dead guy.
I think if you're a cop in that situation, though, you overlook the stoner that was actually the good human being and stopped and did the right thing. I think you overlook the fact that he smells of weed. I think you do. I think if I'm that cop, I would do that.
What if I was the only guy to show up and the cop's like, man, I know you're high and everything, so for being such a good dude, here's a little bit of weed we picked up off some degenerate.
Or off the dead motorcycle driver. Here you go. You get his weed now. You get his weed.
He's dead.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way. Yeah. If I ran the airlines, if I ran the police department, that's the way I would run it.
You'd have very specific policies if a stoner shows up to an accident, help him out.
Also, if it's a fat person,
don't help him
out at all. That's exactly right. Just kidding, of course. Guys, you know what I think it is time for?
Is it time to bring forth the
clips?
You know you want 'em, baby. You know we got 'em, baby. You know you want 'em, baby. You know we got 'em, baby. Clips. You know we got 'em, baby.
Clips. Yeah, Clips is the time of the show where we take a look at all of the random stuff that we find on the internet and present it to you. And by we, usually it is my good friend and our clip commander, Tom, who has been pretty much killing it lately with a lot of these clips. He's been doing a great job. So we'll see how he does today. And this is one I will say that I know we've sort of probably played before, and that's okay, because it is an absolute classic, and seeing as though it is spooky season, it gets the pass. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it, just check out some Indian Thriller.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Indian Michael Jackson is the best. Fuck yeah.
So good.
Pretty sure this is better than any Michael Jackson song, if you ask me. This is it's definitely not racist, and it definitely not.
I don't
think it's racist either way.
It's got the E-Bombs World tag on the bottom.
Yeah, I miss a good E-Bombs World.
It's been a long time.
Does it still exist? I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, fuck Beat It. This is way better. Oh yeah. Also, I think that's a very attractive Indian man. There's some good dancing in this. Oh, listen to that. Oh, I like the monster makeup too. I'm pretty sure that's just mud on their face.
Pretty sure.
I'm in. At least, honestly, he's got the correct suit, right? He's got his red leather pants.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's a little more Eddie Murphy from Eddie Murphy Raw, but I'm okay with it. Sweet Contact.
This jams. It's always good.
Yeah, it's a classic. Oh yeah, look at the zombies now. I guess they were. Were they zombies in Thriller? Or just
there were some zombies in there.
They were the undead, right? So they were technically they were zombies, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, listen to that synth solo. Oh, I love it. He's doing the old, like, the twitch, the shoulder twitch thing.
He's got the moves down.
Yeah. What is Indian Michael Jackson's name?
Oh.
What is his name? Indian Michael Jackson's name.
I don't know enough about Indian names to even make like a good joke Indian name.
Patel. It's Patel something. Yeah, Patel.
Jackamundi.
Patel Jackamundi. That's it. That's I think that's exactly right. I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it.
Couldn't we just call him Indian Jackson?
Yeah, we could. I like mine better. Patel Majundi is a far better.
It's
name.
pretty good.
Yeah. We'll go with this one next. I was going to say Patel. Peru wins the first ever Balloon World Cup.
The what?
What is the Balloon World Cup, you ask?
I do.
We will all find out together because I have no idea.
Oh.
Hang on here. Okay.
We gotta keep it up. This is so fun. Oh,
all
he's
right.
fucking.
So
did he get it?
let's explain to the audience exactly what is happening here. I love how it's being presented like like a total sports game. They've got the score at the top. Peru is up 3-2 right now against Almenia, and it seems like there's a certain amount of time. And then they are in a closed off, it looks like a glass encased room, or at least plexiglass encased room. And then they put random objects within this room. It's
a fun obstacle course of things. There's
we've got
arcade
couches,
games, couches.
couches,
pillows,
arcade games, like a full desk, like, and then it seems like we've got, a couple different people playing. I don't know if it's.
It looks like two guys and a ref in the ring.
Yeah, so I feel like it's two guys per team, and they have the balloons. And
I like that they have the helmets on too.
And
you could damage a cranium in there, bruh.
You could.
They are wearing the helmets, because especially if you're doing that parkour all over trying to get this goddamn Balloon World Cup championship, I would be wearing a helmet too, taking all the fucking risks. And I'm guessing the concept is the old school game like you played when you were a kid of don't let the balloon touch the floor, right? Yeah. Right, players have to hit a balloon upwards, and points are scored if their opponent fails to prevent it from touching the ground. So it can hit. Okay, so it can hit. I was gonna wonder that. Can it hit the car? But yeah, the car's just in the way.
You can hit things, but not the ground.
Just can't hit the ground. Oh shit! This. Oh my god! What a sport!
I'm freaking out.
Cuba and Spain right now.
It almost seems like like a really big Latin event.
That is cheeky though too. There, you see what they did? They put
he foot tapped it.
No, bro, they put a fucking fan in there. So the fan, it would change the trajectory, of course, of the balloon. Look,
this is
watch.
a small fan. It's not a big enough.
Oh,
fan.
look at that! That's a big.
It's like a regular oscillator.
That's a big ass oscillating fan, if you ask me. That's gonna make a huge difference to my, strategic playing of this game if this fan just gets introduced into the mix. Also, sponsored, big name sponsors. They got Oreo sponsoring this shit, so someone's watching it.
Doritos, V-Dub.
Oh, look. That fan, I tell you, fucked it up. This looks like more, now we got more one-on-one. Maybe it is just one-on-one.
It is.
Okay, I thought it was somehow I thought it was teams, but that's the refs. You're right. Oh shit! This action is intense. Oh, easy. That was the. Oh man, I feel like that guy right there, did like the cocky like. Yeah, whatever, I got you. Like, I got you beat. Like, all I gotta do is chip it in type thing. Like, that dude.
A little cocky, like, boop.
Yeah, he did the boop. I'm digging this. I would watch this on TV.
I know. It's, like, genuinely fun to watch.
No, I'm in. Look at the Mentos. They got their sponsors Mentos fruit stick. Big, oversized Mentos fruit stick thing. Peru! Peru! I've always known Peru were the top dog when it came to balloon hitting.
Bro, I mean, honestly though, how can you even like, if you hang your head in shame after you lose the balloon cup, nah, man.
Nah.
You don't get to be shamed.
Nah, I feel like there's a tremendous amount of shame with that. Like, it's because we got Peru is like the top dogs. We need to assemble a team, and we need to really focus on this, guys. America needs to win everything. We can't be letting Peru fucking take our balloon World Cup. Like, that's unacceptable to me. Anyway, this is called Salami Neutral. Asks about dogs. I don't know what's going on.
Salami Neutral here.
Oh, Salami Neutral. I think we might have played this guy's stuff before on the show. But I
don't remember it.
I don't either, really. But he was a guy in a ski mask, and his name's Salami Neutral. He's going to ask about dogs, I believe. Hang on.
Salami Neutral.
We're doing a thing about dogs today. Gonna ask people a couple questions. What's your dog like? What color's your dog? Who's your dog with? What makes you think that I'm a weirdo, huh? Is that what you're thinking? You think I'm a killer or something? You think I'm weird? You think I'm strange? Because I like dogs, and I want to know what breed your dog is. What in the...
Salami Neutral has an interesting choice of getup. He's got the ski mask, but he's also got...
antlers?
Yeah, antlers.
Yeah, I want to know how those antlers are chilling. Like, I want to see the making of this.
Yeah. Like, how did he, like, stitch them in? How did he attach these antlers to get him to stay? He also is wearing kind of, like, hunter-ish gear. Kind of tactical-ish, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but we'll see.
It looks like maybe he stopped at a Urban Outfitters right before he got here.
Maybe. He's going to ask some people about their dogs.
What the fuck is this shit? The fuck is this liberal bullshit? And what the fuck is that? Look over there with the camera. What in the fuck is all this Mickey Mouse bullshit in this what's supposedly supposed to be an art museum?
So okay, so he's at an art exhibition type
I thought he was an alt
You
museum,
tell me
and I
what
was
the
like, what's
fuck
an
is
alt
going on here?
museum?
Did you know Walt Disney was anti-Semitic? I'm out of here. You know what? I thought you artists were cool and lesbians. Nobody wants to feed the fucking dog anymore, do they? Bones are getting brittle. Look, I'm taking this shit. What you gonna do about it?
So now he's curled up
What's
like
she
he's
gonna
like
do
sitting
about
down like a dog,
You liberals,
trying to take a
you're
poo-poo.
just like Donald Trump.
So this is probably what, 2008? I'm guessing 2008, 2009. It feels a little dated.
Yeah.
It also feels like it might be from Canada. I'm getting Canada vibes on it. What about you guys?
I mean, why else would you have a balaclava on in the middle of the day?
Canada.
Unless you're in Canada.
True.
It's sort of
Look at that shit.
Massachusetts. I don't know.
What's Mickey Mouse doing here, huh?
Could be.
Trying to slip in your little Nazi message? I
Could
want to
be
hear it.
Maine.
If that's what makes you an artist, I don't want to be one. No thanks.
Okay.
I'm not an artist if that's what it means to become an artist.
I think I like salami neutral. I'm gonna go out there on a limb. I think I might be into salami neutral. What do you?
I'm gonna reserve my judgment. I want to see a little more. I'm just
Okay.
not 100% sold.
Yeah,
That's-
he's gonna earn my trust.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fucking shit everywhere.
Where's he dancing at?
Looks kind of like a bar, maybe.
Distillery.
Maybe. Oh, he's pulling down his pants.
Favorite dog breeds? We're doing a thing about dogs. No?
He's asking people on the street
Sorry.
now about the dogs.
Nobody's
Kind of just yelling it out.
There once was a place called Azkaban, where Harry lied for years, until there was nowhere to lie left.
Hey, I'm doing a survey about dogs, actually. I just want to know.
Yeah, Derek's right. It's Boston, right? Like the accent, like that's, yeah. It's
He's a Southie.
I think this has got Barilli vibes all over it. I'm pretty sure this is Springfield.
What kind of
Actually, too nice to be Springfield.
breed the dog was? Jack Russell, huh? All right. Somebody had the fucking audacity to. There's like a whole fucking pile of dogs down in that sewer. You see the breath coming up. They're breathing for air. They're desperate for fucking air. They're dying down there. Who the fuck's gonna help them? I am. Because I'm not a pussy. After this light.
What a hero.
After this light, I'm gonna save the dogs. Hello?
I wish we had those in Florida too, with the sewers. How they like
The steamy sewer.
the steamy sewer when it gets cold. I wish we had that because that's what we're looking at right now. He's making a joke about how there's like burning dogs down in there or something, and he's gonna save them. But yeah, the old school. Yeah, I like the steamy sewer. I like it. I want it. I want Orlando. Get that. We'll just put fog machines down there, and
Yeah.
we'll make it feel like it's cold.
Oh, this thing's hot. It's hot. It's hot.
Fucking shit, bro.
It's hot. It's too hot.
Yeah, it's a sewer.
Ah, shit, my neck. I got a
Steam.
kink. Fuck.
This feels like Tom Green, but not as good.
Yeah, it feels like shitty Tom Green. You're right. I like he can play piano. Okay.
You're kind of getting there, buddy. You could do it.
I think it's kind of sad. Excuse me, sir. Would you mind, do you like dogs? Do you have like a favorite breed?
H&M bag though in his hand. How long H&M? That's newer than Tom Green days. H&M wasn't around then, was it? How long has H&M been around?
I feel like H&M is fairly new, like
I feel like it is too. That's what I'm saying. Like
less than a decade.
that's kind of what I'm saying. Is it made to look older? Is that what we're watching? Something that's made.
He's a wannabe Tom Green now.
Yeah, I think so. I think that might be it.
No, thanks. Let's take a look around. Let's look at what we voted for. Everybody look around. Look at what we voted for, everybody. This is Trump's America.
Yeah, we got. There we go.
Look at what we did.
It's new.
There's Mickey Mouse. There's science. And scratch the last part. Look at the dinosaurs eating Mickey Mouse, huh? What is that talking about? I'll tell you what. It says, we don't care how outdated anti-Semitism is. We don't care at all if it's prehistoric. We want it to continue in America. And that's why you voted for Trump. Hey, walking your dogs no more. Nobody's walking the dogs around. What's your favorite dog breed?
Golden Doodle.
Golden Jewel, huh? It's always the gold ones.
Golden Jew? Did he say that?
I think she said Golden Doodle,
Oh,
but
is it?
I think she said Golden Jew.
I heard Golden Jew. I thought she said Golden Jew.
All Jews are golden to me.
Fuck. I'm sorry for being me.
Oh wow, this is okay. I think this is a new thing. It seems like the chat room, Parker, thank you. 427 views 2 days ago. So I think this is new. This is new hot shit breaking on the Ohno radio show. We'll have to follow this guy. We'll have to check out more
Check out Salami Neutral.
Yeah, see if we give him the, see if he's got the goods.
Well, what if we can get an interview with
Might be. He's
Salami Neutral?
getting on the ground floor of Salami Neutral. Might be a big deal someday. Oh, this guy. Okay, this is a Guinness. I like a good Guinness World Records every once in a while. The fastest man on 2 hands. Let's check it out.
I study the best guys in the world, and I compete against the best guys in the world.
Freaky. That's freaky. If you've got no legs, it is kind of freaky, right?
Well,
a little bit.
Like,
he doesn't even look like he has a pelvis, though.
This guy seems really cool.
Yeah.
Seems like he's a handsome fella. Zion Clark, USA. Yeah. But he's just, man, no legs. That's got to suck.
And now I'm going to beat the best guys in the world, and that's just how I see it.
Okay.
I had posted a video on Instagram, and I was running real fast.
That dude is jacked.
Like I did about
Well, you
20,
walk around on your hands. You have to be jacked.
Kind of. You're right.
25 yards and only like 3.
But I walk around on my legs, and my legs ain't that jacked.
Because you're also thin.
Yeah, but I walk a lot, and I don't know.
4 seconds. And they were just like, wow. And they were like, we think you could set a record. And I was like, sure, if you want me to try it.
Yeah.
Guinness World Records is there. Everybody's there. Former Olympians, former world record holders are all there.
So how does that work, right?
Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm glad dude is fast, but yeah, like Mike said, his whole like his pelvis is gone too.
Yeah.
It's like he got his like decapitated above the hips. It's kind of crazy.
Plus, Owen, you got to think.
How does he poop? I want to know.
How does he jerk
basic
it?
function? Well,
does he even have a pee-pee?
I think at this point you don't got no wiener. Like you probably you lost your dick and balls. Your
Ty
colossal.
lost his fuck. You said no wiener, and Ty's head blew off.
I feel like your body has to then like go straight from stomach into whatever you're left of your organs down there into a bag, right? Like that's happening on the pee and poo poo end.
You think he's got a poop bag in there?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, he's got one. Well, how else?
He rests on that bottom half of his torso. So
he
like,
must have it like strapped all up in there with like some shit. Like that's what I'm guessing. I don't know. But then
I really wish he still had a wiener, so it would just be like long and like dangling around.
Big old black wiener, fucking dangling over here. Zion.
I'm also the fastest thing on 3 legs.
Yeah, shit. Yeah.
Damn.
3 arms, whatever.
Penis.
I mean, if he did have one, I could guarantee it. He'd be able to fucking pogo stick on that tripod around. I know it. Anyway, I think with this though too, because think about this too. So this guy is also like very like if he had legs, this guy would be kind of a stud athlete and right like so it requires a certain amount of testosterone to be able to do this sort of thing.
You think
like
he's
to look as good as he does, be as buff as he is, like and look at his good shape if you just took the what he's got. And
you think he's on like TRT or something?
I think you have to. I think you would have to if you've lost, right? Because otherwise you would become kind of like a eunuch and you'd become like you'd lose that athletic edge that a male typically has.
Whoa, hey.
That's fair.
Whoa.
That's fair. That's why there's
supporting me, hyping me up, getting me going, and then I just took off, man.
It's pretty fast.
Wow.
You see that thing that's waving?
Thing was,
yeah, that's
his dick.
That's his. Yeah, that's the pouch. That's the pouch with the dick. Like it's something going on there.
I think it is funny. They had a shot of him running on his arms, and he wasn't wearing a shirt, but he still had like pants on. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you ain't got no legs on, Clark.
I know, bro. That's the one thing you don't need.
My second one, I was moving so fast and then I slid into it and ducked under the sensor.
But that's
So I
why
had to go
he
do it
does
again.
need it, just to, you know. That's fucking weird
I was
looking.
expecting.
He looks like a chicken now.
Could he beat the average like Chihuahua?
Zion Clark races an assortment of small animals and people.
That's what I want to see. That's
Yeah,
what.
but you've seen these dogs go on the zoomies. I don't think he could beat a zoomies.
I
but
think
they
you're
can't
right.
go zoomies in a straight line.
I'm kind of with you there, Ty. I also think that this guy might actually could possibly be the best balloon World Cup player. We need to hire him for the USA team because he's so low to the ground. Right? Like, he'd be great at that. Like, because
but if
he's
there's
so
obstacles
fast.
in the way.
Yeah, but he's
I don't know,
fast,
man.
bro. He climb them.
Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I'm gonna be under 5 seconds, maybe even under 4, and I called it. First thing I said, the second I was done, I looked at all of I said, I told you. What I say?
Couldn't he run faster than me?
Okay. Yeah,
Can I run faster than him with my legs than he can run with his hands?
Okay, not sober, but if it was Owen at about 8 claws,
yeah,
he wins.
Okay, so you think I can get him normal?
Sober.
Yeah. Well, no, I need two. I need two
question
claws. I need 2 claws just to kind of get me in, the zone.
In racing mode.
Yeah, racing.
Warmed up.
Yeah. I call it my racing zone. Like, yeah. But
So bigger. So what would also suck is, like, if this dude was out here like, yeah, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna beat like all these records. Are you supposed to like talk shit back to like a guy with no legs? That's kind of unfair.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're
Like
allowed
if
to do
you're
that.
if you're at the handicap Olympics and you're up against this guy and you still have all your parts, you're just
The handicap.
handicapped.
Yeah.
And this dude's like, I'm gonna fuck y'all up. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna beat this. You'd be like, yeah, man, you got no legs.
Told
bro.
you
How
exactly
much-
what I was about to do, and I just did it. To be a Guinness World Record title holder, I'm number 1. There's nobody faster than me right now. I'm the fastest man on their hands in the world, but at the same time, it also means that my family's winning, my town's winning, and my support group's winning, because without them, I wouldn't be here doing this for you guys.
You know what?
Originally, I thought this was a bit. I thought they had just dug a hole and there was just a guy fucking around.
And it's
And I was
real.
like-
It's real.
Like, this guy's a fake.
No, Derek does not like this guy. He says, here's the problem. He is beating the fastest walk at what would be a run for him on his hands. Yeah. So it's not the same. He says, fuck this guy. I'm not going to take that harsh of a stance. I support him. He doesn't have a wiener. So, and if
I don't feel bad for him.
if he did have a wiener, imagine that, like, I bet you if he had a wiener still, he could still have sex and like
Undying waves of vagina would be
yeah.
flocking to him.
It'd be like wavy. It would be wavy, or she would have to ride him, right? That's how that
But
would
like,
work.
don't you guys ever think about doing it with a girl with no legs? I mean, come on.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I don't.
No, never.
That'd be hard to aim because like it'd be
Hard
like
to
you'd just be
aim.
fucking a V. Like I'm assuming they like remove the whole like bikini.
I don't think they do
leg
that.
area.
Usually you got some nubbies or something to grab onto. Like, give me a nub. Like, I can
Nah,
do a nub.
I'm
I
imagining my
can't.
amputee, no
yeah, but
nub.
this is like the true spinner situation. I get to like totally like I could put my finger on the top of her head and floop 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 floop.
Bro, what if this guy literally just like you're hopping up on a ledge, so you got your 2 arms up on the ledge, his 2 arms are like up on the booty, and he's just like
I see that. Yeah.
flexing the bottom.
You know, bop, 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 bop. Like, yeah. There's a toy that's
Bro,
like that.
What if he could do some weird? They would have to write a whole new Kama Sutra.
Yeah.
Just for this, bro.
New positions. Killer. Oh, that's the one that a chick is totally going to 69 him, right? Where she picks him up and then, like, the 69 can happen. because like you got a lot less weight going on there, right? Like you gotta,
Oh yeah, he could be. Well, no, the
he
problem
can
is
be
never
standing
with weight.
69.
The problem. Oh, standing. Okay, I thought this was just guy on top 69. I'm like, the problem with guy on top 69 is not the weight. It's that you're ramming a
Yeah, well,
a
that.
wiener at somebody.
Yeah. I mean, but standing 69, I mean, with the chick holding him, I think that this guy would have that, yeah. Like tombstone pile driver style, you know? Like, you get it.
He is lighter. Yeah, he definitely would be the optimum person.
That's what I'm saying. We got one more clip this week, and it's, I think it's a more dancey one. I've always liked a good Tesla coil song. You know, when they bust out the Tesla coils and they make them play something, yeah. Like we got one. I think it's good old Daft Punk.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh yeah. It's time to celebrate. Oh yeah, alright, it's time to celebrate. One more time, it's time to celebrate. What would happen? Okay, serious, honest question, because I don't know much about Tesla coils, because I think they can be dangerous, right? Like, can they hurt you? Like, with that, like, I don't know much about electricity, but if you were to walk in the middle of that,
you'd be dead.
Would you die?
I think so, man.
I
There's
don't
a lot
know.
of like raw electricity out there.
Yeah, you would definitely be hurt.
I'm pretty sure.
You could die.
Would I
You
catch
don't
on
necessarily
fire?
Have to die.
Would my hair catch on fire?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Hold on.
I feel like they're like, isn't it weird? It's like they're low amps but high voltage, so it can pass through you. Something like that, where like it doesn't actually like hurt you that much unless the amperage is high, and then I don't know.
I think basically you'd
How's
need
that
like
work?
a Faraday cage
No,
to go in
really?
there. Yeah, you would.
Really? I would die. You think I would die? Well, how's... It kind of looks fake. Is it just because it's electricity that it looks fake, or is it fake?
I think it's real. I think.
I think I could walk out in that. I'd be fine. I don't think I'd. No, I think you could just like basically hold your finger up and just like let it go through you. Let the jams go through you.
I'm looking on the internet right now,
Yeah.
and the short answer is yes, you would die.
Oh.
The long answer is it would depend on a lot of factors like the power level
That's
of
what
the
I'm
coil,
saying.
how you're being shocked, I guess where you get hit.
Where,
There'd be a lot of, I mean, it's coming down to like, I think if you get hit in your chest, pretty much out.
Oh, see, I thought you could just like stand there and like hang out with the thing. Like, I don't know. That's what I thought. I don't know. Don't ask me. It's just the way my mind works. Anyway, guys, let's go. Clips.
You know you want 'em, baby. You know we got 'em, baby. You know you want 'em, baby. You know we got 'em, baby. Clips. You know we got 'em, baby. Clips.
How you guys rate that clips? I think it was a good clips. I think it was pretty damn solid, start to finish.
Strong.
I'm gonna go with 8.5 on this one for that clips. I think it was an 8.5 clips all day long. That was an 8.5. Didn't quite get to 9, but it got an 8.5. Perfectly serviceable, perfectly entertaining clips. Oh, 8.2 chat rooms going 8.2. Ty, you're going 8.
I'm going 8 on it.
What are you going with, Mikey?
Listen, clips is good. I am a tough critic.
You are a tough critic.
I'm gonna go 8.5. I don't think it really capped into the 9.
Okay.
8.5 though.
8.5. All right. So yeah, we say the same thing on that one. That being said, it's kind of it's time to sort of take a break. But before we do, I want to tease something that, I definitely wanted to bring up on the next segment. And I'm going to leave you with a phrase. And I want you to answer me in just yes or no right now. But when we come back, I want to hear what you think this phrase means. And it's a British term. Effing and jeffing. Do you know what it means? Yes or no?
No.
Either one of you. No, Mike? And don't tell me if you don't say, just yes or no.
No.
Ty. Effing
I
and
want to
jeffing?
say yes.
All right. Well, we'll find out if you're right or not when we come back. And that's going to be part of the interesting, cliffhanger that I'm leaving you with here for the second segment.
Effing and jeffing.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Don't
No, I'm
don't
not,
try
but I'm
and
just
don't
trying to
try
make
and
sure
ruin my fun. Effing and jeffing is the phrase that I'm looking at right here. And you know what? Hang on, that's a better one. We will leave you for just a few minutes, and we will take about a 10-minute break. I will say that we've got a casting couch for the end of the show, and I'm really excited about it because I think it's a lot of fun. We're going to talk a little even bit about Ty and his video gaming.
Oh, God.
I've got a couple other topics and about something about a future city that Tom sent me, an article about a future city. So I'm looking forward to that. But also,
Future City.
Yeah. Also, if you are a wrestling fan and you haven't already joined the Ohno Wrestling Group, you should definitely do that. Look on Facebook for the Ohno Wrestling Group. We are posting our details for our meetup coming up on Saturday here in Orlando, Florida, prior to the AEW Dynamite show that a bunch of us from Ohno Wrestling are going, and we're sitting in like the same section. And I'll tell you right now, like, the details are pretty simply: show up to the Commission Beer Chamber on Curry Ford at around 4 o'clock, maybe a little bit after. We're grabbing a couple of beers before that. I will have new free stickers with the No Wrestling AEW logo. I'll show you them right now. Hang on.
Oh, stickers.
Yeah, I got some new stickers, so these are going to be fun. These are going to be going out to everybody that shows up. There's some Ohno Wrestling stickers. We've got some extra fun toys, and we just, we want to try and get a good relationship going with the Commission Beer Chamber. So even if you're not going to the wrestling event, you just kind of want to show up and hang out with me, and Duncan should be there, and some other good fans and other BDMs even. Then please do come on by, and we want to try and make the Commission Beer Chamber a little bit of a home for us. So we're trying to show them that we can bring some people in, and this is one of the first things that we can do with that. So do that on Saturday at 4 p.m. That being said, what do we say when we get out of here for the first segment, boys? Fuck your We'll bounce back at 10:10. 10-minute break. second segment of the Ohno Radio Show. As you can probably tell if you're watching on Twitch, twitch.tv/ONRS Live, Mikey's wearing his cool shades, getting his cool backgrounds going, whilst Ty, still not even back. Still not even back. How do you feel about that, Mikey?
I feel like Ty needs to get it to fucking together.
I think he needs
What do
to
you
get
think
it
about my
together.
new shades, though?
They're pretty sweet, bro. They're pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I like them. I
the
like
hover
'em.
shades.
No, I like them a lot. And guys, if you know anything about the Ohno Radio Show sort of like lore and history and something I've been preaching for a long time, we've finally taken it to the next level in the fact that we have a Get It Together Moon group. And if you're one of these people that understands why the moon is just out of goddamn line, then you need to get in that group, and you need to hit me up. It's pretty much the next biggest thing on the internet. Like, is
your moon group?
My moon group, yeah. My moon group is really it's top notch. It's top notch stuff. It's pretty much the best content that you're gonna find.
Ty's I can see Ty.
Yeah, what
he's
is he?
looking? He's looking at his own computer.
Yeah,
he's just not here.
He's just lost. He's there. He's wearing a.
He's stoned.
He's stoned. He's wearing a disco shirt. I don't know what he's doing. We'll move on with the show without him. One of the things that I brought up, of course, as something to talk about when we came back from break was this term, effing and jeffing. And Mike, you seemed a little bit perplexed when it came to what this term actually meant. It's an English phrase.
Okay, so I still am going to hold tight to that effing is probably fucking. Probably.
Okay.
But in that case, what's the jeffin? I can't figure out what the jeffin is.
Okay. Well, let's ask Ty. Because Ty, you seem to
I've
think
been here the whole time.
You seem to have to think that you might have a clue as to what the whole effing and jeffing thing means, right?
No, I have no idea.
You have no idea either.
I was going on a long shot, but no.
So if I said to you, okay, so say we work together, right? We're working. This is inconsequential. We're working at a coffee shop, right? And I'm there early, and maybe you come in late. Maybe you're aggravated, and I said, "Oh, Ty was in a real mood today. He came into the coffee shop. He was all effing and jeffing."
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, this sounds closer. Well, where is the entomology of this fucking phrase, Owen?
Look it up. Look it up, please, if one of you. Effing and jeffing. And the way I would actually type it would be like EFFING and jeffing, GEFFING, right? Effing and jeffing. It's a British term, which basically is, I was just curious if Americans understood it or not. But it basically just means like you're coming in and you're swearing. We do a lot of effing and jeffing over here on the podcast, and it's a little bit of like it's just basically saying like you're saying fuck a lot, you're saying shit a lot, you're effing and jeffing, you're using the F word a lot. I think it's Cockney rhyming slang type scenario. Have you found anything about it, Mike?
Yeah, I got it right here on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, am I right or not?
Yeah, it's actually a derivation of the term effing and blending.
Oh, not as good.
Meaning to swear and curse profusely.
Right.
It's a Northern English term.
Yeah, effing and jeffing.
So you come in just swearing and then like a piss poor, like just coming in just
coming
like
in
a
hot,
real
coming in hot. Yeah. So I don't know. That was just a little thing that I heard the other day. Someone use it on a podcast I was listening to, and I was like, huh. Obviously, it was a British podcast, but they have it's a wrestling podcast, and they have a large American audience. And good one, Ty. Like that. I don't know what that is. That's fun. It's not Christmas yet. You can turn that off. Yeah.
Nothing going on here.
But no, I was just curious if like Americans, because they have a large American audience, this British podcast, if whether or not they would understand the term, and obviously, probably not for the most part.
So while we're here at Britain,
Yeah.
dude, I've been watching a lot of like, what I assume are just British, like talk comedy shows.
Okay. Who you watching?
British.
Who you watching?
It's like
What
is like 8 out of 10 Cats.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Mock the Week.
Okay. I'm not familiar with
there's
that one.
one more. Like Jimmy Carr was hosting one of them.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr is much bigger in the UK, and when you see his stuff, he's like, he doesn't translate to an American audience very well. I actually think he's actually quite funny, and I think he's such like a dick, and he's so dry that it might be a little above the old American comedy spectrum.
Well, what I wanted to say was, I originally started watching it because British comedian James Acaster, I'm like a big fan of him.
James Acaster,
he's got a Netflix special on Netflix right now.
I'm gonna look him up just so I can find it, like see what he looks like. I can't see if I know.
But dude, they are kicking our ass in comedic shows. Like they just do comedic panel shows.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know if
he's on a ton of them. I know exactly who you're talking about now. Yes, they do the panel shows are way bigger in the UK, and they do a ton of them, and they're
hilarious.
They're funny. There's the one that I've always kind of thought that we could spin off, honestly, and rip it off, which is it's something that I kind of maybe. I'm working on a couple Patreon projects, that we can kind of like almost pilot a few different ideas and shows and what have you for us to do. So that's going to be coming up soon. But one of those, very related to this, is something that it's a show. I can't quite remember the exact name of the show, but it's something like the idea is you've got this panel of comedians, you've got a host. And then you have this host, like, have the comedians tell a possibly a lie or a truth, and you have to figure out which one. Like they tell 4 stories, I think is usually the concept. They tell 4 different stories, and of those 4 stories, one of them is the lie, and you have to find the lie out of all the 4 stories. 3 of them are true, 1 of them is a lie, and you have to kind of guess. I think that would be a fun game to play with us, also our audience, and kind of like make it an interactive thing. Something I'm working on, especially within the Patreon community. Again, patreon.com/ONRS. Please, if you're kind enough, donate any extra money to that, because that really, really helps us out a ton. But my point being is that, yeah, we're working on a ton of different stuff like that, and that's kind of what you're talking about, right? Have you seen that one, Mikey? That the lie one, the so many. I forgot again. I can't remember what the name of it is.
Well, there are several of them where it just seems like they play like almost like a rotating, whose line is it anyways?
Uh-huh.
Well, they'll play a couple different games, but it seems like it's like comedians and English celebrity and like you can tell who the celebrities are and you can tell who the comedians are, obviously, because
and they will occasionally have like your higher profile, maybe even American cinematic star come in and sit in as the guest, and it's fun to hear like their take on things. You are 100% right though, Mike. I think that that's something that needs to, would be a positive thing for America to kind of like dip their toe into, as far as late night television, especially. It's like, it's almost early late night television. It's before, I feel like you get those before we would get like our Lettermans or our, that's dated obviously, but our Conan's dated now. Who the fuck's on there? What do we got? We got Kimmel, we got Fallon, we got Colbert. But like, this is the type of thing that would come on like an hour before that, like before a more like interview driven show, and it's great publicity for like usually the product, whatever they're trying to promote, but it's also like a little bit more like, it's less stuffy and it's more fun. That you get to see. Maybe it's a comedian, maybe it's an actor, whatever. Someone with their guard down and coming up like you're making the guest come up with like some lie, or you're telling them the lie, or you're making them come up with some truths, and tell some stories that are real. So kind of like that, because you get to see it from a different. I don't know, but
I dig it though.
Yeah, no, it's something that I think are going to play with. And very coincidental that you brought it up because, yeah, in all seriousness, we're going to be doing one, guys, that is a game show. We are 100% going to be doing
for a game show.
We are 100% going to be doing a Patreon thing that is the Ohno game show. And we will be doing that very, very soon. I want to get my treatment 100% down before I fully present this idea out there, but it's something that's been brewing in my brain for a long time, and I think it'll be a lot of fun for everyone that is a Patreon subscriber. And here's the fun thing, guys. You have to subscribe to Patreon to play the game. So, There you go, patreon.com/ONRS. That being said, I want to switch gears a tiny little bit and talk about my garlic Yeti cup.
Your what?
Garlic Yeti cup?
Here's what happened.
Explain this further, please.
I got gifted from work, like I won a raffle on one of my 18 jobs. I won a raffle when I won this Yeti cup. Beautiful Yeti cup. We all know how expensive these things are. They're like seriously like over $30, right? Like the big ass Yeti cup that, and it's got the company's insignia on it and everything, but it's like a custom Yeti cup. I'm like, this is awesome. That's a cool gift. That's actually something I can use. Well, we had dinner a couple nights back, and there was a lot of garlic involved, and a lot of the dishes ended up in the sink. We don't have a dishwasher. We always have to wash our dishes. So I believe that my Yeti cup, including its lid, ended up in this sink full with probably some pans with like leftover garlic residue, leftover cooking stuff.
How much fucking residue are you leaving behind?
Well, it's a lot of cooking, and you got the garlic in the pan, and the pan then gets in the water, and then the same water gets it mixed all up with your Yeti. And all the dishes get thrown into the sink out of haste and laziness, and then you do them all at once, and then, dishes are done. Well, that seems like it's fine until the following day when I go grab my Yeti cup. All the dishes are done, pull them out, I only use my Yeti for water, too. Like, it is my go-to ice water cup, right? Like, it is, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's I'm not putting my White Claw in it, not putting any beer in it, I'm not mixing any teas in it, right? It is my water thing, my vessel. And so I go and grab the Yeti, I start, pouring my water in it and everything, I'm drinking, and wow, like there's something off, like, and it took me about half an hour of drinking out of this cup to then realize that every sip and like time I get close to it, every smell of this cup is fucking like I'm drinking garlic water. Like it's gross.
It's good for you.
It's. I mean, yeah, but I don't necessarily want my ice water in the morning to be flavored of garlic. You could understand. You could understand.
Why not?
Nah, bruh. Nah.
Spicy change of pace. Little garlic in your water.
So I did the old thing, like I washed out the cup again and washed the lid again, and again, it happened the second time. Third time, I'm like, well, this is unacceptable. I start looking up white girl recipes on on the web.
How to get garlic out of my Yeti.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then it's like a lot of baking soda, a lot of vinegar, a lot of lemon juice. I'm like, so I do all that. I do the baking soda, I do the vinegar. I actually don't have any lemon juice, but maybe that's what failed me. But I did the baking soda, I did the vinegar. I scrubbed it good with the baking sodas in there, and I let it sit for overnight. I let it sit. Next day, still goddamn got the fucking garlic smell in there.
Be damned.
So I washed it out again with soap, let it sit overnight again in just now soap and water. Next day, same fucking garlic, not a change. So I said, fuck it. I mixed. I did some bleach and I did some bleach and some water, and I've got it sitting overnight. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. And if this is
I think
gonna
your
work.
Yeti's gonna taste like bleach and garlic now.
Maybe. And this is bullshit because, like, I don't know. Can I just buy a new lid for my Yeti? Is that a thing? Can you just buy a lid?
So wait, is it just the lid that's making it taste funky,
I
or
think
is
so. I think so. I think it's just the lid. I think because it's
the inside's
lid,
metal?
Yeah, the metal part, that's easy to clean. That's good to go. But I think it's the lid, and I don't even think like it's the plastic of the lid. I think it's the plastic of the little, the sliding part the Yetis have to keep
The like silicone rubber part?
No, not the gasket. That would be the gasket. But I'm talking about like they've got the thing on the top that slides over to close off the cup. If you spill it, it keeps it watertight or whatever. I think it is that piece that I've determined that is the smelly of the smelliest. And I gotta just say, I'm really disappointed with you, Yeti. Yeah, I mean, I didn't pay for the product, but this is also a freebie of that is supposed to cost like over $30, and you're just garlic susceptible, smell susceptible. This is bullshit. You're going in the same category as the moon for me.
Whoa. You hate Yeti as much as you hate the moon?
It's damn close.
Have you guys even talked to Moon Satan about this?
No, we don't. No, because we don't believe in him. Because the moon, that's why Moon Satan is up there, because he sucks too.
Whoa.
I'm fairly sure he's not going to be pleased about this if he is already not nonplussed about it.
I'm a Moon Satan follower for sure, though. So
well, he needs to get his own group. Then he needs to start talking. Because I don't know. Like, I haven't heard from Moon Satan in forever, and maybe Moon Satan doesn't have a voice in this goddamn conversation because he's just been so vacant with his activities as of late.
Well, maybe I'll reach back out and see what I can get from old
man,
Satan.
Just want to let you know that sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. You gotta shut the fuck up. And this current time is just one of those times you gotta shut the fuck up. I don't think you're a bad person. I just don't want to hear you talking anymore. You gotta shut the fuck up.
He's been waiting for it. I love it.
Moving on.
I feel like that probably wasn't warranted, but I feel like he's had his hand on the button all night just waiting.
Are you going to give it to me? You're going to let me have it?
I'm giving it.
That's fine. It's fine, yeah.
Do you remember back in the day? I saw a parent today, like a friend of mine on Facebook, posting pictures of their kids. They're at the playground, right? Like typical playground, and well, I guess not a typical playground because now the playgrounds are all like plastic and shit, right? Like rubbery plastic. They even got like they don't even have the real wood chips down there. They got like the rubber wood.
Used tire.
Yeah, the used tire bullshit.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh, dude, the playgrounds now are so pussy. But I remember back in the day when I grew up in playgrounds, especially here in Florida, and you'll remember this, Mike. A lot of them were made out of like a lot of wood, splintery ass wood.
Worst wood.
You could have a metal slide. You'd have a shitty sun bleached fucking plastic slide, and then you'd have the metal tunnel, which is the same like the metal tunnels that they would use in like drainage ditches and they're like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah,
they're corrugated almost.
Every panel would be like a new like
and they would use this. I like that they used to use like basically old leftover construction materials to just fabricate some bullshit of a playground. Like, okay, we're gonna take this tube and we're gonna make this tube like into a climbing thing, and then you can climb up the tube, you can walk across the tube, and we had one of these in my neighborhood, and I saw the picture of like my friend's kid, like little tiny baby, like running through this little tube, and then I went, all of us used to just pee in there all the time. Like not this specific one, but like the just any of like. And I see him to this day, and I'm like, I kind of want to pee in that too. Like that's.
I've peed down so many like plastic slides, just because I was like, man, somebody's gonna slide down this, and it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
See, I never
may
did
not
it.
even be here.
I never did it like maliciously. I just like was just like it was a thing to do. Just like pee down the tube puddle, like I don't know, the funnel thing, and I don't know. I guess. Did that exist up there in Wisconsin when you were growing up? Or...
Similar.
Yeah.
There was definitely the metal playgrounds that were full of metal and splintery wood. Absolutely. The specific pea tunnel you're talking about, I'm not sure. I mean, you'd have to be talking about the huge drainage tunnel, though, like the big motherfucker, not the little one. Like most of them are like. Most of the ones up here are only
no. These ones I would say are 2 feet in diameter. Probably about 2 feet in diameter. Like they're storm drains, like ones that would go into like retention ponds and stuff like that. Like we had a lot. Right. That's sort of what I'm talking about. But
I feel like you can see the thought process. It's like we produce too much of this. Let's put some plastic ends on the corners so nobody cuts themselves. And
ours didn't
it'll be a playground.
No plastic ends. That was nah. That never existed. I'm just saying that like when you get to a certain age, it's about like 10 through 13 where you're still out there riding bikes, hanging out with friends, maybe even stopping by a playground to like, you know, like not really like play on the playground, but like hang out. And it's like,
just like fuck around on. You're not playing. No. You're like just wandering around the gym equipment.
And when you're the older kids, that's when you're like, I'm going to be a little piece of shit. I'm going to pee down the thing. You know, I'm going to pee down the slide. Our playground smelled like pee. Oh,
dude, so our playground at the park where we went a lot as kids was there was like a 2-story wooden structure, all wood. All the round, it looks like they just chopped off the top of telephone poles and just used those.
Because that's what they did. Yeah.
And it was the most splintered wood that ever did exist. Our metal slide was like a full metal tube, but it literally looked like the plastic sections just made out of metal. And it had like metal bolts.
I think
but the bolts were on the.
You had the same company as mine then that built your playground, yeah.
And like they couldn't find a way to fasten everything together, so there had to be bolt tops inside
the slide.
So you're going down and you just be getting like a bolt every 3 feet, like running right up your leg, just like boom.
Or off to the side where you could like if you lean too far to the left or right,
catch it on your
catch it on your like. It was always my for me on ours. It was always like right around the chest area, like right around the rib, like good spot to put that. Yeah, you hit it, you're like like you couldn't have like cut that bolt off. Use a shorter bolt.
Damn.
Yeah. I also remember playing on some slide in town that had a straight down slide, but it was like from like 12 feet up. So you got moving.
And it was and in the summer, hot as fuck. Like you would you could literally like fry an egg on it, and like I remember getting off of those and like
some of those metal slides you'd pee on them, piss would just like on a hot muffler.
Do you remember the roller slides?
I was about to ask about
the roller
those were pinching fingers
left
those
and
hurt. Right.
Oh,
man,
all right. I got fucked up by those a couple times.
I don't know when you start losing teeth, but this was I was probably 8 or 7, I don't know, somewhere in there, but we had a pretty
sure you start losing your teeth earlier than that, but okay, yeah.
I don't fucking remember, but it was one of those roller slides, and it was pretty wide, but the one at our playground, like, I watched this fucking girl in front of me fucking run up it. I was like, I can do that. Yeah, that sounds like a best idea I could have.
Oh, this sounds bad.
I had a good start. It was probably in the last the last 20% where I lost myself and I've like face planted forward on the metal slide.
Oh.
So both of my front 2 teeth they didn't get knocked out, but they got
bent,
wiggled.
They died. Like, I fucking fell forward. I hit my teeth. It hurt like a bitch, and they like went dark. And then we had to pull them out. It was
proper trash children. Like
it was pretty great.
Yeah. No. And you okay? So that was a regular slide, but not a roller slide.
No, it was a roller slide.
How the fuck do you get 80% up a roller? Like, that's tough,
dude. Well. I mean, it wasn't like a flat roller. It went kind of like the curve, like an exponential curve, where it goes up and rolls over.
Okay.
So you can get some running room before it starts going up.
Like a mini roller coaster. Like,
kinda, yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay.
It goes down and then swoops out, and that's the key. You'd have to have super fast feet, like
to get to the top of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like some American Ninja Warrior stuff.
I really thought I could do it. I was definitely proven wrong. That took like 3 weeks for those teeth to like fall out. It was gross, but I'll never forget that shit.
Now, see, we also we lived in a trailer park for a long time growing up. Most of my from young, almost birth age to 12 or 13, we were in a trailer, but right behind the trailer was a really good woods, a solid woods area, and we built several tree forts out.
I was a tree fort. Yeah, I was Florida enough to have a good tree fort going on. Yeah,
and literally these were death traps. If these would have come unhinged, and you're talking about you're talking about 10-year-old, 12-year-old ingenuity.
Yeah, we used to have that. Okay. We had the zip line with the garden hose. We had one of them.
Yeah.
We eventually built one of those pits to keep other kids away from our tree fort.
Like a moat?
No, what are they, the Punjabi pit thing? The
you had a Vietnamese spear pit?
Yeah, we made a spear pit. Had a lot of black widows in there too. So if somebody came up and fucking with our tree fort and you didn't know where you stepping, you were slipping through that hole that we had disguised. And you took you were going. It was like a 7-foot hole. I'm pretty sure it was deep as fuck. We had to have a ladder to get out of it.
Could you imagine, you're just being a kid, you dig a little pit, you cover it with palm fronds.
Yeah, that's what we did with sticks, pointed sticks.
And you leave for the day, you go home, but the kid who was jealous and wanted to be part of your tree club, treehouse club, goes sneaking around after you've all left. If he falls in that pit,
he's dead.
He could legit fucking die.
Oh yeah, I thought about that in later years.
You could have murdered a kid, but I mean,
He might still be there. There was a kid that went missing, and we kind of got bored of the treehouse. So that is something that could have happened.
I'd love for Owen to go back as his 35-year-old self and go be look down in the pit and see a skeleton, and you're like,
look at that.
Huh. We did kill a kid.
It might happen. It might happen. Did you hear about this story here? Billionaire ex-Walmart executive says the first settlers of his planned $400 billion city, Theresas, will likely be selected through applications, and they could move in by 2030. So
wait, what is Theresas? What is this?
So look up Theresas. See if you can find more information than me. I'm reading a thing from Business Insider, in which Mark Lohr is the guy that used to be the executive with Walmart. His vision is coming to fruition. 50,000 residents could be living in an egalitarian utopia by 2030. Lore, who stepped down as the CEO of Walmart's U.S. e-commerce division earlier this year, announced last month that he plans to build a futuristic city known as Theresas. Theresas, which gets its name from an ancient Greek word meaning highest purpose, plans to offer its citizens equal access to education, healthcare, and transportation. Residents would get around in autonomous vehicles, and the city would run on renewable energy. That sounds pretty good to me so far. So
okay. So I'm reading. I think I'm reading it out of Fortune. But yeah, basically he's saying like it would be like kind of a high-end city.
Yeah.
It would be, but it would in a sense be like its own little encapsulated environment where everyone would kind of be equal. Like there wouldn't be like, oh, you're poor, so you don't get into the good schools. It's probably a small enough community where you can have like one school.
This is where it gets a little suspect, right? And like where I think it's gonna draw a lot of attention. While citizens of Theresas would be able to build their own homes and sell them, the city would maintain ownership of the land itself. Lore told USA Today's Scott Gleason on Sunday. He called his vision for the city equitism, a mashup of equality and capitalism. The sole purpose of creating a city in the desert would also be would be so it's owned by the community. Basically, take all the appreciation of the land and give it back to the citizens, Lore told USA Today. Taxes paid will go back to the city for infrastructure, roads, tunnels, and bridges, so everyone would know exactly where their money is going. All of this actually does sound good, and I like that the fact that like we've had our hypothetical like building our own like kingdoms in the past, right? We've had and this guy's like literally doing it in real life, so I can kind of respect that.
I feel like this is one or two steps before we get into like, okay, we're building these like basically domable cities. Because eventually things are going to get shitty enough to where you're going to want to be inside somewhere that's controlled.
It's possible, yeah.
And this is going to get like real Black Mirror. Now I do love the idea that like everything's going to be super transparent. Like, yeah, you're going to pay but I mean that's how it works out here. We're just not as the government's just not as transparent. You're basically going back to like the 1700s but with modern technology, and that's the way you want it to run when you have a small enough scope and scale of a city where you can be transparent. But the problem is it's still going to be owned by some billionaire.
That's the thing. And
he was the billionaire from Walmart. Like, how is that?
It's an ambitious endeavor and an expensive one. The city's website estimated the first phase would cost $25 billion, with the total cost of the city surpassing $400 billion. It would be funded by investors and philanthropists as well as government grants and subsidies, the Theresas website said. There's no set location for Theresas yet, but a few regions have been mentioned as possibilities, including Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Arizona, Texas, and the Appalachian region, which includes 13 states in the eastern part of the U.S. The first phase of Theresas, stocking the city with 50,000 residents by 2030, would likely include an application process. Lore said settlers of the city would be chosen via selection process focused on diversity and inclusion, he said, and he's working to determine the criteria with the help of a team of staff and volunteers that includes architects, economists, engineers, and climate experts. So yeah, they're gonna get to pick and choose who gets into this. Like, do you think that any of us get into this? Like, are we getting into this? Or?
Well, no, because I'm sure the application process is gonna come with a monetary contribution attached to it, which we won't have.
There has to be stipulations, right? I mean, you don't just get to go if you want to. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm skeptical of this, because this could turn really quick into a how much, like, what are the barriers to entry? Like, do you get to run my DNA, or is this just a simple, like, you want to check my credit score, you want to make sure I have enough money to actually pay this? Like, what are you checking in the application process? Because I think that's probably what's going to drive a lot of people away from it, is like, yeah, you may have the money, but what if this application process is so intrusive that you don't really want?
Maybe you don't want to be there. Maybe it's just for certain types of people. In the renderings of Theresas created by the prestigious Danish architectural firm Jacques Egos Group, the streets are filled with robots and autonomous vehicles. There's a high-speed rail system and a futuristic skyscraper dubbed the Aquatism Tower, USA Today reported. And it dominates the skyline. So they're going to be up there in their big old tower.
Dude, there's the Ivory Tower right there.
Fucking there.
I do like it, though. They're quoting Lore and how he was kind of inspired by this book, Progress and Poverty, by Henry George.
Sure.
And he believes that a lot of American wealth was created simply by the luck that an ancestor put a stake in the ground somewhere and said, this is mine. And so a lot of these places, it gets exacerbated because all your local taxes are what's funding your education. So these areas of super low income have super low tax level rates, which means they have poorer education, which in turn leads them to be less educated, and they earn less money throughout their lifetime. And he's like, that shouldn't be the way it is.
It definitely seems like this guy has amassed a huge amount of wealth, but also has problems with capitalism, and definitely has, like, wants to make things a little bit more, run things more on a kind of, like, I guess, socialist sort of scale, if you will.
It's called equitism, basically, but what he's trying to do, it sounds like, is that as this land appreciates in value, it's not just like the banks that are holding that value.
We all
own
it.
You're all taking back a share of what you've helped to, like, grow in the profitability of that land, which I think is really cool. And I think the idea
that kind of is cool. Yeah, that's definitely cool.
I'd love to see more cities kind of strike out and just be almost their own little autonomous communities, because it would give people the, like, with respects to how they want to live. If you want to live in an area that's more gun friendly or more whatever friendly to where you want to be, there's probably an area for that. And
I feel like this is interesting, because there's definitely pros and cons when you look at the whole concept. But like, I wanted to shit on it at the beginning when I started talking about it, and the more I kind of, like, think about it, the less I'm against it in a lot of ways, right? Like, this thing here says, like, he's done a ton of, entrepreneurial projects. In 2005, Lore co-founded Quidsy, the parent company of Diapers.com, which he sold to Amazon 6 years later for $500 million. After a short stint at Amazon, Lore founded Jet.com, an e-commerce competitor that he sold to Walmart in 2016 for $3 billion in cash plus stock. He served as Walmart's U.S. e-commerce CEO for 4 years, announcing in January that he was leaving to focus on building a quote-unquote reformed version of capitalism.
It kind of does sound like that, though.
Yeah.
Because all of our current problems with capitalism is that there seems to be a lot of people doing a lot of work and only a few people who are getting rich out of it. Whereas what we were taught was you work real hard, you get whatever you want. And now we're all finding out at the same time, oh, wait, that's almost not how it works. Yeah, there are certain situations where it does, but it seems to be an overwhelming majority of people who are not getting the plus side of capitalism.
And just as a side note, in July, Lore and former Yankees star Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, teamed up to purchase the NBA's Minnesota Timberwolves and the WNBA's Minnesota Lynx. So the guy's obviously got money. He's doing some shit with it. We'll have to see where that one goes. But Mark Lore, this guy and his $400 billion city Theresas, is something that I'm kind of curious about. Like there's some cool shit. I don't know. I would definitely want to visit it before I fucking invested, or definitely wanted to hear a little bit more about it. But you know what? I don't think it's a dome, but it's kind of a walled off city. Do you think that like they don't let like they don't let homeless people in?
Dome will be the eventuality of it,
but they don't
because
let,
as things worsen here on Earth, you'll want to dome it off.
I'm thinking though too, like, and this is great. Like, I'm gonna build my own when I'm a billionaire. And there'll be no children, no fat people. I'll have a wall.
It's a short society, Owen.
Yeah, we're no children, no fat people. We're letting them, like, you gotta really, like, you gotta pay a toll to get across my bridge or my moat. Like
every morning in Owens Wall City, an alarm goes off where everyone has to go to their nearest weigh station and weigh in, and we're gonna have daily dismissals.
Yeah, it's like that's what wakes you up right here. And
please report for your daily
everyone.
weigh-in.
It is time for the daily weigh-in. If you are over 40% overweight, you will be executed on the spot.
I was just talking about like banishment.
We're trying to help the world, bro. Like, we're trying to, like, we're not just in it for ourselves. We're trying to change the world. We're in it for everyone.
So,
like, this is.
So, Owen, do you let a bunch of people in and you don't tell them, and then day one the siren goes off and you're like, please report to your weigh station.
They'll have to, like. There'll be
day one.
Well, there'll be a long terms and conditions thing that they have to sign. It'll be in there, but a lot of them won't read it because they're idiots.
Right.
You know.
So day one, the siren goes off and people start showing up to the weigh stations, and so day one probably going to have heavy casualties. Like, there's probably going to be some fatties lining the streets.
Shooting squads will be they'll be prepared for.
And don't even make the people report to weigh stations. Have like a Gestapo-esque troop walk through the streets, and you have to come out and weigh in the streets.
Oh yeah, embarrass you in front of all the people, like, and make a point of it. Like, this is not the type of behavior that we. And Spirit Airlines not welcome in my town. Like
obesity will not be tolerated.
Yeah, exactly. Well, another quick story I wanted to ask you guys about that Tom sent me. I found it was interesting. Tennessee haunted house, McCamey Manor, requires a 40-page waiver and will pay you $20,000 if you can last the full 10 hours.
All right, McCamey Manor.
Yeah. Now we have actually showed videos about this before in the past. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. Haven't we covered McCamey before? And the dude's like a fucking weirdo.
Sicko. Yeah. There's something there's something weird going on with this. I feel like they've just stepped it up this year because this article is indeed from this year. Yeah, October 13, 2021. So yeah. It's the brainchild of Navy vet Russ McCamey. McCamey Manor in Summertown, Tennessee, and Huntsville, Alabama, is likely the scariest Halloween haunted house on planet Earth. But just how scary is it? Scary as a motherfucker. In fact, we have some people dubbed it a real-life torture chamber that shouldn't be even in business. Why? Well, we'll take a look at some of the requirements that need to pass the screening process. They make you sign a 40-page waiver. You must be 21 and above, 18 to 20 with parents' approval. 18 to 20 with parents' approval? That's weird because you're an adult at 18.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right. Yeah.
You must get a sports physical and a doctor's letter stating that you're physically and mentally cleared. You must pass a background check, pass a screening via Facebook, FaceTime, or phone, have roof or medical insurance, and finally pass a portable drug test on the day of the tour. Once you schedule your pants-shitting experience, you'll partake in the horror fest that takes over 10 hours. If you complete the journey and follow the rules they lay out, such as no cursing, drinking, smoking, running, eating, or touching the actors or props, you can win $20,000. This seems like one of these scenarios, right? That they throw so many things into this waiver that you sign that it's almost literally impossible for you to win the $20,000 prize, because it's like, once if you just say, fuck, you got me, or something like that, you're done, because there's no cursing, no effing and jeffing. And so I feel like they've kind of weaved this into a thing where it becomes, it becomes kind of, like I said, impossible for you to complete.
Yeah, well, from what I remember about this, like, he basically sets it up so that every time anyone even makes it through, he's like, nah, you didn't, and then doesn't pay out, because he always puts it to the point. Well, and plus they get to the point where they're like physically beating them, and then people quit, and he's like, oh, well.
Yeah, according to
can't make it through if he can't get beat.
Well, according to the Nashville scene, the house can shave your head or eyebrows, inject you with hallucinogens,
For real?
Yeah, that's what it says. Make you eat bugs, snap you with a mousetrap, wrap plastic wrap around your face, whip you, tase you, bury you alive, and that's just the beginning.
I'm kind of interested.
I am not fucking with this. That's a no. That's a no for me, dog. That's not happening now.
Well, bury me alive? Like, for real? There's no terms and conditions in there? Or just, you can bury me alive? Fuck.
I don't know. I guess so. So
the rest of it, like, for 20 grand, I mean, I feel like I could read the script and prepare myself mentally to walk it through. But if they can do whatever they want, if they can literally bury you alive, that's tough.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a ton of people that are like, yo, this place needs to be shut down. No one has, completed the tour, apparently. It was originally, this is what I remember. The original location for the house was in San Diego, California, but eventually it closed down and McCamey moved to Tennessee and Alabama locations. I remember us talking about this years ago when it was in California, and then California was like, yeah, no. Like, you can't do that here. So they went to Alabama, and surprise, fucking surprise.
Come on down.
I'm not going to that. Are you guys? Nah, no. Because again, like, I do feel like even if you had the strongest mental fortitude and you thought you could make it through this incredibly torturous, scary, 10-hour fucking thing, I feel like they are. They're just gonna find some weird loophole at the end that you don't get the $20,000. Like, that's why I would never do it.
So I'm reading these people's experience with it, and literally, okay, so this person gets out after 3 hours, which I assume the whole 3 hours is just some litany of everything we've just talked about, being just beat. But yeah, basically, this dude they release him into the area where he's done at, and they're like,
he quits. Basically, he quits, right?
Yeah, I guess they have masking tape all over his face.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Which they kind of tear off. When they do that, the dude's face is bruised, swollen. He's crying. He's got bald patches on his scalp. It just sounds so
awful. This is not
awful.
Yeah, this is not fun. This is for people that are what is it, sadists, or people that are
some people are into that. Yeah.
Maybe. I think this almost sounds like a weird BDSM sexual thing that you want to be tortured, right? This comes across to me as more of that than it does going to do a spooky Halloween thing.
Well, they talk to a woman who lasts 4.5 hours in this like nightmare torture room. And she says, I don't feel like I was tortured or abused. It pushed me to my limits. I'm proud of myself. And this woman apparently holds the record as being the oldest person to go through. So I think to some people, this is this is so hyped up. Let's see if I can even.
It's like an
do
Everest.
this.
It's like an Everest type thing. Like you got to the top, you climbed, you conquered some weird goal. I want to know I want to hear from the person rather that lasted the longest. Like who's the person that lasted the longest in it? I
wonder if he's ever paid out. Ever.
I
don't think so.
I'm guessing that no. I'm guessing that that's probably a no. I'm not doing that. I'll stick to Halloween Horror Nights or Howless Cream, and I'll go down to iDrive.
Does it cost anything to go in this house?
I think you do have to pay to get into. Yeah. I think you do, because otherwise, how they're making their money, right?
Well, yeah, but like usually haunted houses are put on for like fun. This doesn't sound fun, and two, this sounds like it would again.
I bet you probably because of like how much has to go into it. I bet you probably have to pay a couple $100 to even get the opportunity to try and get your $20,000 reward and make it out your 10 hours or whatever. I would assume it's got to be a couple $100 to even, do it.
Okay, just based on like what I'm reading. The person who came out after 4.5 hours basically looked like they'd just been beaten.
See,
dude. If you went 10, and I imagine at like hour 8, they are ramping it up.
They're like waterboarding you. They're fucking
like. They said they can do that. So
yeah.
So it's like, what are they doing at hour 8?
They're like setting your toes on fire. They're like, they've already shaved you. They've already
you've got no hair left.
They're basically like, they've got your wiener out of your pants. They've got like a flamethrower, and they're lightly doing the just from a while away, just so it's singeing your dick just a little bit.
It's bubbling the skin. It's putting some boils on your wiener.
See, I'd be good at this job though too. I think I could do if
you could be a torturer.
Yeah, I could do that. Like I couldn't make it through the 10 hours by any means, but I would be good at creating like new creative ways to make someone tap out.
All right, so what we're gonna do, Owen?
Yeah.
We're going to like scrape up people's hands and then make them walk through we're going to make them crawl through like a tube that's just like sharp rocks and salt and lemon juice.
And pee in my pee.
And pee.
Yeah. Right.
Gotta put some pee.
Gotta put some pee in there. Yeah.
And then
that's like round 1 though, bro. That sounds like super basic. I feel like I could do that.
Well, we gotta start light. We gotta work them. Like my hour 8. Yeah, we're like waterboarding you while we're cup checking.
Well, that's hour 8 is where I bring out the dick and the flamethrower. That's hour 8. Like there's still 2 more hours. There's still 2 more hours. Yeah. You're upside down, getting waterboarded, dicks out. Flamethrower, and then but it's actually a flamethrower that's on a track, right? Like, and it gets closer and closer, like every 2 minutes, and it gets closer and closer to your penis as the flamethrower gets nearer, and then we'll see how quick you tap out.
And I say you put the train on like a loop track, but like. Every time it goes around, it like at random either speeds up or slows down.
Yeah.
So you can't be like, oh, every 20 seconds, like I get a hot flash on my pee-pee. Sometimes it's 5 seconds. Sometimes it's going slow by you. So you get like a 10-second window where your dong is getting flamed.
I would also do a lot of stuff before that too that involves a lot of stuff that you see in like hardcore wrestling. A lot of light tubes smashed over your head.
Oh,
A lot of like maybe like pizza cutter to the face, like the old pizza cutter to the like. It's that you know, like that you know, in between the lips, like the paper cut. You do the pizza cutter in there. You got
blind. Oh, dude, let's do blindfolded barbed wire crawl.
thumbtacks.
But it's
thumbtacks. Let's throw some thumbtacks in there. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
Oh, let's give them the Die Hard, like make them just walk through just glass.
That's not fun either. Yeah, these are all
Piss glass.
Honestly, this is it's kind of frightening how quickly we've come up with some of these ideas.
Everyone's just rattling. I'm like, well, what about this? Oh, yeah, what about this? Oh, let's get fucked up.
I want to do like the old school the axe throwing but with darts, and I want to put you up like a Jesus, almost like you know, like on a cross, and I want to like have your head like next to like a dartboard, and I want to try and get you, you know, like I want to get you in the face with an old steel tip dart. Yeah.
Dude, I'm saying the old fashioned, you just run a stone gauntlet where like people are just hurling stones as you go from like one.
Oh, that's full Jesus. That is the full Jesus package. You get the full Jesus package. You get the stoning,
we call it the Jesus hour,
and then you get the full cat and nine tails deal. Like that's
dude. Think about it like this. You roll that like so it's whatever Halloween manner it is, like at Halloween time. But then right at Easter, you run the Jesus experience.
Yes.
Where you have them like walk the cross for like 3 or 4 miles, all while getting like stoned and like verbally berated,
spit on, pissed on. Like you know, there was one of those guys back in Bible times that was all like he shit in his hand and he threw it at Jesus,
flung it
right?
at the Jesus.
I feel like that happened. I feel like that if the Jesus story's real, that happened.
Can I real quick? I know it's not the segment for it. Can I add an amendment to my nation?
Sure.
We're gonna do shame walks.
Shame walks.
But that include like fruit, rocks, like whatever can be hurled. Like it's got to be under like a softball. But yeah, anything can be hurled that's under a softball.
I like it, and I think I will allow it, and we will be. We need to start continuing back up with our addendums to our nation's guidelines and rules, and you know what? I think maybe next week we start.
Everybody gets a couple new rules.
Yeah, maybe everybody gets a couple new rules. Talk a little bit more about our nation, see how they're doing, see how it's going. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That being said, it is time for our final segment of the night, and I think that you guys will appreciate it because it is another edition of the Casting Couch. And this week, it's I got something special for you. I think you're gonna enjoy it because you know what? I rediscovered me some Seinfelds while I was on vacation. Now it's on the Netflix. Now it's on it's on Comedy Central even. Seinfeld's back, baby. It's everywhere.
It's kind of weird to watch Seinfeld in 4K. It's kind of weird. Right?
It is odd. Yeah, I haven't really adjusted to that yet. It's definitely kind of like off-putting in a weird way.
It feels weird.
But I have really enjoyed catching up with Seinfeld. It seems like you've watched some Thai since it's like kind of reemerged. Have you?
I threw a couple of episodes on, but I haven't like gone through and started watching again. But yeah,
dude, it's on Netflix.
Yeah. That's where I'm watching it. And we didn't have cable when we were away. We had Netflix, and we were watching it in the evenings. When we were on vacation, it's just kind of like something to throw on. And it is totally one of those perfect shows that when you're like kind of want some background noise, you want something just to throw on. Seinfeld is perfect for it. And I've seen a good portion of every episode of Seinfeld. There are some I've missed. There are definitely like, there's definitely stuff I've missed. There's definitely stuff that, I haven't seen. And it's fun when you kind of catch one of those episodes. But I thought it would be fun for all of us to recast every major character in Seinfeld with modern day performers without it, of course, it can't be anybody from the show, and it can't be anybody from, I would say, Curb Your Enthusiasm. You're not allowed to pick a Curb Your Enthusiasm guy because there's so many similarities and there's so many crossovers. But I guess the hardest one to start with would be that one, Jerry Seinfeld. Who do you base the show around? Has to be a comedian, right? Has to be a comedian. I think.
Okay, so what if you went Colin Jost from SNL?
He fits the bill. I just don't like him. Like, he's unlikable.
Hold on.
I mean, I could sort of see it, but still, it would bother me. I don't know.
Okay, I think you guys are all just latently jealous that he is with
banging Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
Well, yes, I think that's what you're all
well, that is
hating.
fair. Yes, I am hating on that. Like,
sure.
Yeah. That is accurate. That is definitely accurate.
If I saw him, I'd probably just pat him on the back. Be like, you know what that pat's for. See you later.
It's important, though, that we all kind of try and decide the Jerry of this show before we continue, because everything kind of sort of has to revolve around the Jerry, the one guy, right, that would be in this role before we can go any further.
Okay.
And I've got a few ideas, but please, I want to hear yours first.
Dimitri Martin.
Don't mind that one at all. Don't mind that one at all. That's
if
actually
he had
not
a
bad.
little bit of writing control, not full, but a little bit of influence on it, I think the show could come out with a very similar comedic pitch.
Okay. That's not bad. That's actually not bad at all. I've got a few, but I was thinking we could do an Andy Samberg.
Oh, Samberg's not a bad idea. Like, I'm surprised I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Samberg works.
If you do Samberg, do you feel like the show comes off not funny, but goofy?
It definitely has a different vibe. Yeah, it definitely does. The other guy, if he wasn't as rich, I'd say you could do it with Kevin Hart. You could do a almost Blackfeld, and then you'd have a Kevin Hart. What?
Don't call it Blackfeld.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, it's a Black Seinfeld. It's Blackfeld. It's Hartfeld. What?
Enfeld.
Yeah.
No, don't that one.
You're not into that
would
one?
actually be that.
Okay.
Enfeld might be the best.
So okay, Ty, did you have one? You had Samberg.
Seinfeld is really tough, man. I'm over here
It's tough. He's the hardest one. That's why we're starting with it.
God. I mean, I already have picks for some of the other characters, but Seinfeld is killing me. I don't know, man. I think it might also be that I don't follow comedy as closely as you guys. Like, I don't watch stand-up often. I'll go to a show here and there, but
Sure.
Fucking hell. Because it seems like it has to still be a comedian to make sense.
It does. It has to be.
What about a female Seinfeld?
You could do it. You could do it like Eliza Schlesinger, or I think she could pull that one off. Ooh.
Nikki Glazer.
Could do it.
It'd be a edgier show if Glazer did it, but yes.
Sticking with the Jews. Sarah Silverman.
I'm okay with that though too.
Okay.
Silverman's fuck off.
If we do Ladyfeld with Silverman as the lead, I'm in for Ladyfeld.
I'm in for that too. I'm in for that too. So okay,
I might masturbate to that.
So that's a good start. We don't have to necessarily agree because that's not what Casting Couch is about. But we'll then move on to some of the other characters. how about you do Elaine? Which Elaine could, in a female word, you can still make her a female. You can make her a male. I don't know. The times are changing.
But I see the problem. The thing is, I think if we rework the show,
yeah,
the dynamic of the show is going to change slightly.
Sure.
Only because who watches these comedic shows? Yes, Seinfeld attracted everyone, but you could probably say the bulk of Seinfeld's audience.
Kate McKinnon, the new Elaine.
Skewed male.
Kate McKinnon.
If you do regular, if we're doing straight swap, or just regular, you make Elaine Kate McKinnon, you could win.
I think that's good.
You could also do wig.
Not bad.
Yep.
Yeah, you could. You could do. I mean, you could honestly switch the roles, and if Silverman, like, you could do Andy Samberg as Jerry, and then have Silverman as the Elaine. Like, you could do it that way around.
Get some fun stuff.
I don't mind that.
I'm thinking for what's her name? Give me one second. Go ahead.
If you did Blackfeld, Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah.
I think that works.
I'd also like to see Rashida Jones as an Elaine.
Which one's Rashida Jones?
Did you watch The Office?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, then
what's her face?
Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly. Yeah, the Indian chick.
Yeah. No, not Kelly. Karen Filippelli.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
Jim's girlfriend before he gets with Pam.
Oh, no. I'm not. Nah.
No, I can kind of see that, though. Like, I'm thinking about it more, and I'm like, it makes sense in my mind.
I'm not into that one. Be honest, not into that.
I also think if you go Jost, might as well go with Scarlett Johansson. Why not?
She's too hot for Elaine. Too hot for Elaine. Too hot for Elaine. And,
yeah, Elaine's got to be kind of.
And they need to have some sexual tension, but not be with each other. That's the thing about them. Like they can't be too close. Colin, Jost, Scarlett, too close. Like you're actually banging. That doesn't work. I don't know. That's a tough one with Elaine, but we'll move on to Kramer. And Kramer, yeah, that one's tough. I thought, like, and this is like a totally outdated, probably not a good pick, but I was like, oh, Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy would be.
He could have done it the first time, bro.
He will sink that show, actually, if you cast him like this.
Good Lord.
Yeah, not a good choice. I'm just throwing it out there. You guys got any good Kramers? Who's a good Kramer? Tom Green could actually probably do it now, and that could actually weirdly work. Like an eccentric, taller, skinny guy, right? Like, you could have him like that guy. Too close to Curb. I would have picked this guy because I think he was this one on Curb Your Enthusiasm, but J.B. Smoove played almost the Kramer character on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
He was Kramer-like.
So like he would be great, but can't be in my rules. Can't pick him.
I'm trying to think of like off the wall kind of funny guys right now.
I kind of feel like now that Seth Rogen is skinnier, not to go full, Seth.
I wouldn't be opposed
he
to
could
it.
Work, yeah, he could work with that. I can see that. Weirdly, Paul Rudd can pull it off too.
He can be goofy enough.
He can be goofy enough, and he can be like sort of. You know how Kramer always has the aloofness to him? Like he's got this aloofness. He just kind of barges in and like I can see like them just pulling a Paul Rudd, like kind of like, oh, you don't know what I do. Like no one knows like how I make my money. I'm kind of aloof. We're always, I don't know. I feel like that one works.
Once again, I feel like if we do Silverman Seinfeld, I feel like Paul Rudd would be the great Elaine.
A great Kramer.
Yeah.
Elaine.
Yeah.
Elaine.
Oh, well, he could be the Elaine. Yeah. All right.
Paul Rudd would be a good Elaine swap. Oh man.
I'm not opposed to that one. I'm not opposed to that one. Let's move on then to, of course, George, which,
I'd love to see a Patton Oswalt.
Oswald works. I'm gonna go a little bit more controversial here, though, Mike, and I'm gonna go with one Louis C.K. as George Costanza, because I think
that would be just complainy enough, just bitchy enough.
I think it works. I think he can go on a rant. He can, Louis C.K. He's the self-deprecating type as well, which is important for George. So that's my George. Like, I'm sticking to that one. But
he's had people walk in and see his ween.
Yeah. Yeah, he's asked to jerk off in front of people and stuff like that. You know, like there's that. You know?
I think you kind of nailed that one.
I think so.
It's pretty great.
That's a good one.
And then we got
do you guys watch What We Do in the Shadows? Do you guys watch
I do.
That?
I love that.
It's pretty great.
I've seen bits and pieces. That's one of those shows I've been told that I need to actually give more time to. Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It makes me pretty happy, but for some reason I feel like, because of course we're all getting older and our pop references are getting older, like if we're trying to do a younger crowd that's growing into these roles, you know, Guillermo, like he seems like a really good George for some reason.
Guillermo could be a good George.
Not familiar enough with it to be able to give
I
that
wish I could send you
my thumbs up
it's
on
okay.
that, but I'll take your word for it. The final two were more exterior characters, but I think they're ultimately always important to bring up when Seinfeld is brought up, and that's the first one being good old Putty, the
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, the Tick is as I remember him. That one's an interesting one. I feel like John Cena could be a good Putty.
Or I would even do Rob Riggle.
Riggle's perfect. No, that's it. That's actually that's perfect. Riggle is
Dude,
Riggles.
he's the update of he's the new Warburton.
Yeah.
Because I know Warburton still does stuff, but he's getting up there. And Riggle's probably like 10 to 15 years behind him.
And the same type of guy, same type of character. I think you nailed that one. Just like I got Louis C.K. nailed it. You nailed it with that one. Final character, of course, we'll end it with this one. One old Newman.
Okay.
And
fucking Newman.
Wayne Knight played Newman.
Yep. You need a moony guy. You need a slightly moony guy to play Newman. Newman was moony.
But he also just has to be like from the moment you see him, annoying. Like you're just annoyed by his presence.
And I first went with this idea. I was trying to think of who would be a good one when I was coming up with this, and I was like Zach Galifianakis. But then I stopped myself because Zach Galifianakis is too endearing for this role. It needs to be someone a little bit more irritating, a little bit somebody that can play more of the villain, more of the heel. Zach Galifianakis is too funny and too kind of nice to be able to pull this off, in my opinion. And that's why I can't go with him. And that's why I went with a modern day Louis, what's his name? Louis.
Big Fat Louis.
Big Fat Louis, yeah. Big Fat Louis. Who could have played it back then? But then, same type of thing. And that guy's also a little bit too likable to be able to pull off that role.
I have one.
Please.
Nick Kroll.
Ooh. That's a good Newman. That's not a bad Newman.
He's so versatile.
Yeah.
Kroll is awesome. Yeah. He is pretty awesome.
I can see that one working real well.
Fuck.
Melissa McCarthy.
Owen Lady.
Yeah.
In the Swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see her
also
doing it.
Also pretty solid. Yes. Yes. Fuck. I don't have
because she does come off as I don't like her.
Me neither. And it's not. I'm all kidding aside. It's not because of her weight. I just don't find her that. I don't know. I just don't find her that entertaining. I've never found her that funny. Like there's something always been missing there. So that would lead into like why she would kind of work as like You almost need you need a character actor for Newman, right? You need we don't have as many of those these days.
That's why I suggest Kroll.
Kroll works. I think I would go with Kroll. I think that's a really good shout, unless anybody else has another one.
Kroll is so good.
Yeah. Kroll is Newman.
Thinking about it.
Can I just also just to dump a little harder on this Melissa McCarthy thing? I know that they did that show Mike and Molly to be like, look, we have a show with fat people and they're the main stars of the show.
Yeah.
The show fucking sucked. She was probably the worst comedian side of that, even though the guy wasn't even that funny. They were both awful. You know what? They match up equally awful. That show, trash. I don't know how it made it through pilot. Fuck that.
It changes the character slightly, but I got one more suggestion for Newman, and it's somebody that you mentioned earlier in the night when we were talking about the British talk shows and all the late night shows and what have you, the panel shows. What if you did have Jimmy Carr as an English smug Newman for like that can work too.
Yeah, I would actually go with that.
That's not bad, right? That's not bad.
You would hate him. You'd hate him from the get-go.
And Americans would naturally hate him because he's English, and that's what you guys do.
We just hate the Brits.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know why, Owen? Because we think someday secretly you want to come take it back.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, that's true.
Man, just want to let you know that sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. You gotta shut the fuck up. And this current time is just one of those times you gotta shut the fuck up. I don't think you're a bad person. I just don't want to hear you talking anymore. You gotta shut the fuck up.
That is my new favorite thing.
It's pretty great.
That is my new favorite thing. Sorry.
I was wondering if you were going to pull it a second time. If you were going to hit it one more time.
One more time. Yeah.
I should have put money down.
We did. It is time about that time we get out of here. Ty, you're fulfilling your prophecy. You have become a basement dwelling video game nerd, right? Like you live in your mom's.
Yeah.
You live in your mom's basement. And
you smoke pot.
You smoke pot.
Well, yeah.
You
play
work
video games.
You work at the cable company, and you play video games for over 8 hours at a time.
You are small town Wisconsin to a fucking T.
Yep, that's what he's done.
I mean,
you go with your mom and dad to supper club, bro.
On occasion, supper club eating is pretty good, man. I buy dinner though, so whatever.
With your cable monies.
Well, yeah.
He's got that sweet cable cash, bro. Cable cash. They pay him in cable cash. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, all right. Like, I took a long hiatus from gaming. I took about 6 years off. I think the last thing I didn't go to the PS4. I had roommates that had the PS4, but I had a PS3, I had a 360, I had a few things, and then at one point, I thought I was giving too much of my life away to gaming. I got rid of everything I owned.
Ty having the first restraint he's ever had in his life. Like it wasn't anything else. It was like, oh, you know what I'm doing wrong with my life? A little too much of the gaming.
A little too much of that shit.
Yeah.
His adult reactors powered up one time, and they're like, "Oh, we blew them. We overdid it. We blew the reactor. It'll probably take 30 years to fix these."
Yeah.
Well, six to get back on game.
They got it back. They got it back quick.
Yeah. And to be fair, it was a good break. I'm not mad that I did it, but now like I got the PS5. You remember we talked about it a little bit. I paid a little extra because I was pissed I couldn't get it. I've played games. I have not beaten any game that I have started on this yet, but
why aren't you streaming? Why aren't you hooking this up? Why aren't you streaming? Why aren't you doing the things that would help the channel? You could
streaming. You don't got to watch me. Shit.
Well, people would like that. Like people would watch Ty getting stoned and playing whatever. What game is it you're playing right now?
I'm sucked into Ghosts of Tsushima. Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
It's literally like watching fucking man, like it is a samurai epic. It's gorgeous. It's fucking beautiful.
Okay.
Fuck.
All right.
Sometimes I just walk around and play my little flute just because it's gorgeous. I'm like, fuck this. I'll just play my flute.
You know
chilling.
what?
I don't gotta kill everybody.
Do you dance under the moonlight in this game?
Yeah. Yeah, on occasion.
Sword dancing in the moonlight, Ty's first album.
I have been quite addicted to it, though. I don't play 8 hours every day, but man, like I get off of work at midnight, and most of the time I don't stop playing until around 7-ish, give or take an hour.
And then you
Yeah.
sleep
Good
all.
Lord,
That-
Ty.
I thought I was bad with staying up late and stuff, man. Like that. You need to get your life together. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my God.
You and the moon need to get it together. And I feel like just like Australia was for the British people and the convicts and the people that are the fucking degenerates of the world. We sent them over to Australia. I'm going to start a whole campaign that we need to start sending people like you to the moon to get rid of you, because I can't.
I mean, Australia's pretty great these days with all that prison culture. I mean,
No. Like, it's there. That place is ridiculous. They still got all sorts of spiders and stuff. You don't want any part of that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
That is not a
Moon
good
spiders?
Fuck all that.
Let me also shout out our clip commander. I should have done it earlier, but he sent me this letter a couple days. He asked me for my address out of nowhere. I thought he was gonna resend some like wedding invites or some
Or
shit.
send you a goddamn bill of all the money you owe him, probably.
No.
Invoice you. Invoice.
But I didn't even know I had gotten it, but I saw a letter that was lying around for a couple days because I don't really look at our mail. I'm just like,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
I see G. Lord Tyler Witcher laying on the table. And I was like, oh shit, look at that.
Okay. What was in the letter?
Fucking Tom saw this and he could not send it to me. But
your stupid background. This is why your stupid background.
It's a support your local wizard fucking bumper sticker, and goddamn it, I am stoked about it.
Are you putting it on
All you gotta do is get a car.
Yeah, now you gotta do is get a real. Yeah, you gonna put it on your truck? What's going on with that?
Well, I got a car and a truck. What are you talking about?
Hey, well, hey, look at you. You're fucking big money bags over here.
I got all the things.
Cable guy. Everybody, we appreciate you tuning into the Ohno Radio Show this week. We apologize once again for not doing a show last week. But that being said, we're back on schedule. We should be back next Thursday. And yeah, like I talked about earlier, we are doing an Ohno Wrestling meetup over at the Commission Beer Chamber over off Curry Ford. And we're doing that on Saturday before we go to the AEW show. And yeah, jump in on that. That's like at 4 p.m. on Saturday. Come and say hi. We'd love it. We also want you to join our Patreon, patreon.com/ONRS. Donate a couple extra bucks, and we're gonna make it worth your while soon. I promise. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/Ohno Radio Show. And boys, what do we say when we get out of here for the evening? See you next week. Love ya. Bye.